Hello YouTube, and welcome everybody on Twitch. Welcome to Captain Mac Live, the show where I do nothing but talk and you guys get to watch and listen. You can see that we're getting ready to load up our Cargo Lux 747 here. The van is supposed to be us, having just pulled up, and we're going to be doing a relatively short flight today from KMSP, a scenery that was donated to me by Jay, out to CYYZ, a scenery that was donated to me by Shivam. So, what's the purpose today? Well, the purpose is really twofold. One, first and foremost, is to just have fun, because I've really enjoyed doing these live streams. I love interacting with you guys. It's a lot of fun. And so that's purpose number one. And then purpose number two is actually based on a suggestion from one of you to do a fundraiser for a new throttle quadrant. So that's kind of what we're doing here, and you can see I've set up a couple of things down below there. You should see a little at the bottom down here, a little ticker, I guess you can call it, that tells us where we're at in relation to our donations, how long until it's complete, all of that stuff. And next to it, it'll tell you if you want to donate, please follow the link in the description below. And if you look in the description of the live stream down below, you'll see that same web address for streamlabs.com/CaptainMac. And so the idea is, if you go there to donate, and I haven't donated to myself, so I don't really know how it works, but if you go there to donate, essentially what'll happen is your donation will it'll pop up and it'll say who donated, so everybody should get an opportunity to see that. And it will also show up on that little ticker down there where we're at in relation to the goal. Now, I set the goal at $1,000, and I know that's a little high. Some of you will probably think, wow, that's crazy for a throttle quadrant, but I'm kind of thinking big here. So I was looking, Michael sent me, I don't remember Michael's last name, but he was on here yesterday, and he sent me a link to a website that's got some awesome throttle quadrants. They're motorized, all kinds of stuff. And they range anywhere from about $800 up to $2,200 for a 747 throttle quadrant. And I think the one that I like best is actually the 767 throttle quadrant, which is about $1,700. It's not cheap at all. So really the idea here is to work on some donations towards that goal. And I have no expectation that the folks watching the Captain Mac channel would ultimately donate that much money, but I set a number on there, a pretty lofty goal, and I just want to see where it goes, and we'll go from there. So any money that comes through on this particular fundraiser, and you notice I put fun-d fundraiser because I want to have fun. That will go towards the throttle quadrant. So if that means I got to put it aside and wait, 6 months or whatever until I can save up the rest of the money myself, then so be it. Now, of course, there is no requirement whatsoever for anybody to donate. Don't feel obligated in any way. I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, if I don't donate something, then I'm not doing my part, or I'm not whatever. That I don't work that way. This is the first time I've ever done an official fundraiser for me. I've done them for other folks in the past, but this is the first one I've ever actually done for myself. And so, to be quite honest with you, I feel slightly awkward doing it, because I don't want anybody to have the impression that I'm here just to get money off of you guys, because that's an absolutely ludicrous concept, and I know that there are some YouTubers that's how they function, and that just doesn't work for me. So I hope that nobody feels that way. If you do, I do apologize. It's certainly not my intention. Just know that whether you donate money or not, I really appreciate the fact that folks take the time to join me here and enjoy this flight with me. So I just want to throw that out there. Hello to Dog Tag, Robert Bauer, and Fishy Gaming, all on here checking out the live stream. Looks like we got 12 folks on here. Hop into the chat real quick, folks. Say hi. Let us know you're here and all that good stuff. As we progress along, I've got several notifications that are supposed to be working. So, for example, if somebody becomes a new subscriber to the channel, it should pop up and show that they're a new subscriber there, and you guys should all be able to see that, and hopefully I'll catch those in time and all of that good stuff. So it's the first time I've really tried out this stuff from Streamlabs. I think I had it going a little bit on Twitch, but I didn't have it working quite the way it needed to. So anyway, there you have it. We'll see how it goes here. I think you guys get the gist of it. So if you haven't noticed, I feel just slightly nervous, which is unusual for me when doing a live stream or a video. I don't really get nervous talking to you guys. Like I said, I really enjoy the interaction, but this is a different thing for me. Doing an actual fundraiser is something that I'm not really used to doing. I'm not used to asking folks for money and stuff like that. So I'm just maybe just a little nervous about that, so I hope that you guys will bear with me. Ralif, hello, how are you? The Octo Gamer, hi, welcome to the channel, great to have you here. So here we have obviously our PMDG 747-400, the Cargolux variant, which is pretty much my favorite variant. I really like the paint scheme on this, very simple and elegant looking, and so I enjoy that. Looks like the wind gusts are moving the rudder back there. Did you see that? That's kind of cool. But anyway, let's hop on the flight deck here while GSX is loading up our cargo here. There we go on the flight deck, got the nose in the way there. Looks fantastic. I really like that you can do that. And let's just take a look at everything that brings us up to this point. Now, rarely do I do this, but I use the short turn function on the PMDG presets as far as panel states is concerned. So I don't know everything that's been done yet. So what I'd like to do is kind of go down the, yeah, that's PMDG's cargo loader out front. Kind of go down the checklist here, see where we're at, and then go from there. So first things first, loading the fuel. We haven't loaded any fuel yet, and if I pull up my flight plan over here off to the side, you guys can't see it, but I've got it off to the side over here, and I want to go to the fuel page, and it says that we're releasing at 45,052 pounds of fuel. Now I'm going to add a little captain's fuel to that and make it an even 50,000. So we're going to go 50, 1, 2, 3. We're going to throw that in there. And let me just check something real quick. I don't think it's on, but I want to make sure. Yeah, see, the APU's on. I don't want the APU on. I want external power on because I don't want to be burning that fuel quite yet. So I'm going to turn the APU off. Turn all of these guys off for the moment. There we go. Okay, and then we'll work on getting her to the state that we want her in here. So, all right, back down here then. So that's our fuel, and you can see it burn just a little bit as we shut down the APU, but we're good to go there. Now let's go back and let's look at payload. So to do our payload, we're going to just load our max, or not our max, but our zero fuel weight. And our planned zero fuel weight is 522,773 pounds. It's a pretty heavy load. It's not quite full. It's probably right around a little over 3/4 maybe. But either way, so we're going to put in 522.8. And the reason I'm going 0.8 is because it's 773, right? So 522.8. And I'm going to put that here in my zero fuel weight. And that takes care of my cargo, right? So it may not be exact, but it's going to be pretty close to the cargo load that's on my flight plan, and that's what I want to do with that. So that takes care of fuel and payload. Now let's go down here. Flight plan, we'll be doing that in a little bit. We're obviously not in a cold and dark state right now. Overhead panel, jump up here. The battery obviously is on. Standby power is on as well. Bus tie switches are supposed to be to auto, and that's these 4 down here, which they are. Generator control switches all on. That's the next 4. And then hydraulic demand pump switches 1 through 3 are off, and then you saw me flip 4 over to auto, or not auto but auxiliary real quick. And so we're good on that. Scotty says, I'm running on the treadmill while watching a live stream. Well, I hope it's enjoyable for you, and I hope the little donation ticker and stuff down there isn't too distracting. I'm hoping maybe one of you just do me a favor and donate like $2 or something, just to make sure that that thing's working properly by using the link down there. If anybody's able to do that, that'd be fantastic. And of course, if anybody wants to donate anyway, that'd be awesome. But I just want to make sure that thing's working right, because I don't even know if it is. Engine hydraulic pump selectors all on. That's these 4 down here, which they are. External power switches 1 and 2 are both on. Actually, 1 is on, not 2. Now, the reason I didn't turn 2 on is those outside doors and the nose door won't close with external power 2 on for some reason. I don't know why that is. So we've got what we need off of external power 1. We'll just leave it as is. Panel lights, we can adjust those if we want. I don't think we need them. It's plenty bright outside. Electric engine control switches are normal and saved. That's these 4 up here. Utility left and right are both on. That's these 2, which they are. And then lights, we need nav logo and wing lights all on. Oh, excuse me, I'm a little stuffy here. Nav lights, They were on already, actually. Beacon is off, wing lights, logo lights, all on. There we go. And then the emergency lights armed, which is up top here, and if it's closed and guarded, then it's armed. And then the IRS alignment, all three of those switches are already in the nav position, and our IRS alignment should be good, but let's just double check it here real quick. So we'll go menu, FMC, and then position initialization, and you can see the IRS is already aligned, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, coming back up top, fuel pumps all off. I don't know why these four did I turned them all on, that's why, because I'm kind of losing it here. There we go, all of those off, fantastic. Okay, let's see. Oh, my nose itches like crazy. Hold on. Oh, these allergies are kicking my butt. Somebody sent me a message and said they think my allergies are hilarious. Fuel crossfeed, all four switches on. That's these four right here, and they are. Nacelle anti-ice and wing anti-ice are both off. That's these. Window heat should be on now. Window heat, this one shows inoperative. I'm assuming it has to do with the power, right? So let's just find out. If I turn on... Yep. So with external power 2 off, one of the window heats doesn't work as well. So we just need to remember to turn that off to close the doors. And I'll probably forget, so, you know, look for that. So window heat's enabled. Yaw dampers need to be on, and those two are up over here. Where are we at here? APU switch, it says to start. We're not going to start it quite yet because we got a few minutes to go still. APU gen switches 1 and 2 would come on. Passenger temperature to auto and flight deck temperature to auto. So there's flight deck temperature, that's on auto. We don't have passenger temperature, but we do have main deck and lower deck temperature. Those are all on auto as well. Trim air is on. Upper and lower recircs are both on, and we don't have upper and lower recirc on this because that's for passenger comfort. Gasper switch on, that we don't have that one either. Not sure, maybe the fan counts as the gasper, not really sure, but there we go. Packs 1 through 3 all normal, they are. Isolation left and right are both open, that's these two here. So you see how it continues the line there, and with it off the line is broken, so that's how you know that the isolation switches are open on this one. And then APU bleed needs to be on. And then that takes us to the FMC planning. We got 19 folks watching on here, but nobody talking. What's going on, guys? Nope, there we go. Fishy Gaming just donated. Look at that, donated $14, and it immediately went to the little bar down there. Well, I'm looking over there. It went to the little bar down here, which is absolutely awesome. So thank you, Fishy Gaming, for your donation. I really appreciate that, man. So it looks like everything's working. Did you guys all see the pop-up from his donation? I hope that you guys did, because that's the idea. I want everybody to see who's donating and stuff like that. You know, I just want to make sure credit's being given where credit is due. And I may miss those occasionally, so if you donate or we get a new subscriber or new sponsor or anything like that, and it doesn't pop up on there, or I mean it pops up on there but I don't see it, my apologies in advance. But yeah, I want to make sure that you guys are getting credit. So I think that's awesome. I'm glad that's working. So thank you not only for the donation, Fishy, but also for testing that out for us. I really appreciate it. Man, those allergies are kicking my butt. Avian Engine, good evening to you as well. Vincent, good morning, sir. Haven't heard from you in a while. How are you? Robert, I did see it. Sounds like our loading's probably complete. Okay, let's go ahead and take care of our FMC route planning down here. And if we go to the route page, I did put in the route. I put it in 3 different folders just to make sure. I put it in the generic folder, I put it in the NGX folder, and another folder just to make sure. So it should actually be the one here in the generic folder, and there it is, KMSP to CYYZ01. Fishy says, good luck with the goal. I've had some fun watching your streams in the past, but loving the live stuff you've given me in flying. Well, thank you very much, Fishy, and I'm glad that some of the stuff that I put forward has helped you out, and I hope that it's helped a lot of you guys out. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate all of you guys. You know, the cat, I'll tell you right now, the Captain Mac channel, it doesn't exist without you guys, the subscribers, the sponsors, the supporters. you know, that's what keeps this channel going. I get to have all the fun making the videos, and you guys are the ones who support the channel and keep it going, and I want you guys to know how much I really appreciate that. So, all right, let's move on here. Let's go ahead and grab, we'll grab the plan there, we'll request it. It's going to save us a lot of time. We've had to set up the flight plan manually every time because, well, because it's been a pain in the butt. It's never been in the folder. That's why I put it in a bunch of different folders. Okay, so the uplink is ready, so we'll load it now. And now it's loading the uplink. So we'll just wait on that for a couple minutes. Any day. There we go, and that puts the route in there for us. Flight number for us will be 2336. We'll go ahead and put that in and then activate it. Execute that. There you go, and then that's going to send us to performance initialization. So let's go over there first, and let's confirm. That's the word I'm looking for. Confirm our gross weight here. Excuse me. Fuel, all that stuff is taken care of. Reserves, we're going to put it at 20,000. See how that works out for us. Cost index is going to be 850 rather than 85, I believe. Yep, there we go. And cruise altitude is flight level 370. All right, moving on to thrust limits. And I didn't actually do TopCat on this one. Let me pull it up here. I haven't done TopCat yet, so. Now, of course, the sound goes away, but you guys can't see this because you have to, like, pick every window. It's kind of weird how OBS works. But anyway, I've already got this particular aircraft, the 747 ERF, saved in here. And so I'm going to use that aircraft, set the weight and balance, and I'm going to do that. You know what? Let me drag this over here, and let me grab my OBS and see if I can show this to you guys real quick. So let me go under miscellaneous window here, and there we go, TopCat. Okay, and then now you guys should be able to see it now, right? So let me pull up my flight plan here so that I can get the information I need, and you should see my mouse on there now, which is fantastic. So the type of flight's a scheduled flight. We're not actually taking any passengers, and because we've got this aircraft profile saved in here. Now, I'm going to sidebar for 1 second. I ranted about this yesterday. I'm going to rant about it again today. Yes, we've got this aircraft in there, but the simple reality is we can't add any aircraft to this. So if it's not already in the list of aircraft, we're pretty much up a creek, which I think stinks. So, you know, if you're considering TopCat, I'd look for an alternative option, to be perfectly honest with you. We're going to put a full load of our pack, so we're going to say there's 12 people on board. Not that we need a backup crew or anything like that, but it is what it is. So as far as our baggage is concerned, we're actually going with our total cargo here. And so our cargo is 76,876 pounds. Interestingly enough, my flight plan has 269 packs listed on here, and then cargo, for a total of 128,686 pounds. So that's what we're going to go with, 128,686 pounds. So there's 125. See, now we got a little high. So there's 129. Let's take it down just a little bit, and you just kind of play with these numbers a little bit. Like, see, that goes up to 130. Oh, that's down to 0 now. 127,500, and then let's just add some other. Let's see. So if that's at 0, so that's at 127,500, and we need 128,686. So we need 1,186 pounds. 1186. There we go. And that puts us at 128,686 pounds, which is on our flight plan. Okay, and then fuel on board. We put 50,000 pounds on there. Taxi fuel for us is estimated at 990 pounds. Trip fuel is estimated at 30,350. And so our remaining fuel should be about 18,660 pounds, and then you see that automatically calculated landing weight and all of that. And we could grab a load sheet if we want. The export to flight sim only works for FSX, doesn't work in P3D. We could look at payload distribution and all that, but we don't really need to. I do want to make a couple changes here real quick. We want to change this to KMSP. Search, there we go. And then this one is CYYZ. I hope that Shivum hops on here. There we go. So that gives us a little more accurate information. And my allergy is still acting up. And then we go to our takeoff page here. And then, so this is, it's telling us runway 22 based off the current weather, right? So we can update that if we want. I've got it linked to Active Sky. And then it gives us our weather right now. So this is saying that the weather from the 26th at 15:53 Zulu, the wind is 200 at 15 knots, gusting to 24 knots, 10 statute miles visibility, scattered clouds at 2,500 feet. This is the type of reporting system here. I forget what the 07 is. And then the altimeter is 29 or 69er. And let me just pop up my Active Sky here. You guys, you know what? You guys can't see that, can you? No, of course you can't. Okay, so what popped up right in front of this guy here is a little window that shows the weather briefing. And so I'm just verifying how that compares to my Active Sky, and it looks like it's pretty much the same, so I think we're probably good to go. So let me shrink that down and close that out. So you guys couldn't see the little window that popped up because, again, the way OBS works is every window has to be actually put into OBS in order to work. So it's suggesting runway 22, which is probably going to work for us. And then if I compute this, and it's calculating takeoff data, and what I'll do sometimes is I'll grab the runway table and I'll copy it, but I'm not going to in this case. But you can see it's telling us flaps 10 and takeoff 2. And let me grab a pen here and write that down. So KMSP, we're going to go flaps 10, takeoff 2, and we're going to put that in right now. So that's fantastic. So I can close this out now, and it'll save that information, just so that you know. It'll save the information that I put in there. So let me shrink that down, and we lost people watching already. We're down to 18 people. I guess this one's not as interesting to them. Anyway, so it's going to be takeoff 2, this one here. We'll do climb 1 on this, and then go to our takeoff page, and we need to put flaps 10 in here. There we go, flaps 10. We need to confirm our center of gravity. It does that for us, but we haven't done our departure yet, and that's why it's not giving us any V-speed. So let's go departure arrival. What I miss in the comments over here? Got it, I see it. Been thinking about making a program for Flight Sim. Was planning on doing a live ATC player downloader based on your current tuned frequency. That's an interesting idea, TK. I'd love to be a part of that. You know, if that's you need somebody for testing or something, I'd love to get involved with that. Yeah, Twitch should be up and running today. Take a look over there. Okay, so it said runway 22, right? That's what it told us for our departure. Let me just look at my chart real quick here. So runway 22, we are down here, I believe. Yep. And runway 22 is way at the other end. Fantastic. All right, to the other end we shall be going then. So runway 22... and it's going to be the Colt 6 departure. Insufficient fuel, huh? Thanks for that. DLL transition, and execute that, and then go to our route page. See, boy, it goes right to insufficient fuel, doesn't it? Let's look at the progress page real quick and see what it's saying. It's saying 18.8 on arrival. So that's exactly what Hopcat was saying too, right? About 18,000 pounds. So all that means is if we go back here to our initial reference, index page, and performance, this is where we want to go here. Clear that out, and then let's put our reserves a little lower. Let's put them at 10,000, because we'll probably burn a little extra knowing me. And that'll get rid of that for us. Back over to the thrust limit, that's where we want it. Takeoff 2, climb 1. Takeoff page now, we've got our VREF in there, 127, 137, and 153. And it is a long runway, by the way. And that's going to take care of all of that. Now what I do want to do is add in our arrival. So departure arrival page, you have to go to index because it's going straight to KMSP now since we executed it. CYYZ arrivals, and you can see all of those here again. They're laid out by runway, and since they're laid out by runway and we're almost a 2-hour flight, I want to wait until we're airborne before I choose one. So we'll leave it as is, go back over to our takeoff page, and we're good to go there. So heading back over to our checklist here, Let's see, IFAS mode is fine. I'm not worried about the range, all that's good. We'll adjust that as we go. We've got our IFR clearance. Squawk code comes next, and we can probably start closing up these doors as well. So let's take care of the squawk code first, 2336 as always. This should be on standby. Let's test it. Maybe. There we go. Should be testing, right? There we go. It's testing. Fantastic. And while that's testing, let's close some doors, shall we?
TCAS test. Pass.
So let's close all. Now watch it. Actually, first, if we don't go up here and turn off external power 2, it won't close that other door. Well, it won't close the nose door and it won't close the side door. So, I hate that. Now close all. And if we hop outside here, so you can see this side door is closing. It's kind of hard to tell whether or not the nose is closing at the moment. Oh, you know what? The nose isn't going to close right now. I'll tell you why. Let me pop this back up. Because we have the service vehicle there. We need to release him. There we go. Release him. Now we hop outside. And once he's gone, then the nose door should close as well. Boy, it loves to go to that ground view, doesn't it? Hey, look at that. We just picked up a new sponsor, Greg Joyner. Fantastic. Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate that. And you should see that popping up there on the stream as well, that Greg decided to sponsor the channel. So everybody, please take a minute and thank Greg for sponsoring the channel. I really appreciate that. By the way, guys, we are above 10 sponsors now, which means a little bit later this year, if you are currently a sponsor of the channel and you are still a sponsor around mid-year, there's going to be a giveaway on this channel too. So looking forward to that, guys. So thank you very much, Greg. I really appreciate that. All right. Notice our frame rates are on point right now, guys. I mean, they are looking fantastic. We're getting 60, 70 frames a second on the ground here outside the aircraft. And the nose door is about to close. If we hop inside, look at that. We're getting 30 to 60 frames a second inside the aircraft right now. That's with traffic and this scenery and everything. So, but I tell you what, it's looking fantastic. I'm really enjoying this. All right, so we've gotten the doors closed up now, which is good. Let's set the altimeter. So altimeter was, I don't remember because I didn't write it down. Let me write down the weather here. So the wind is 200 at 15 knots. And remember that it's gusting as well, so we're going to have a gusting crosswind, and then 29071 on the altimeter. Alright, so altimeter needs to be 290, that's minimums, this one here, 29071. There we go, 29071 on the altimeter, fantastic. And moving along here, flight director needs to come on, both sides. V2, now I go V2 plus 10 or plus 5 usually, I think. 5 or 10, I don't remember which. But anyway, V2 is 153, so I'm going to do V2 plus 5 at 158. Now, there's been some debate about that, but depending on what aircraft you're flying, it seems like, you know, I think it's a company policy thing anyway, guys, right? Okay, moving on. LNAV and VNAV can both be armed at this point. This guy can go up to 37,000. I haven't looked at our departure yet. If we have flight altitude restrictions, it should control it for us. The FMC flight management computer is pretty good about doing that in this aircraft. Autopilot disengage bar is up. That's this one right here. Fuel control switches are cut off. That's these four, which they are. Trim settings, check that they're the same as the FMC without, what do you call it? Hydraulics. Trim's not going to move, so I think I wrote trim later on too. Flight controls, flaps. I thought I wrote it in here somewhere. Because the trim needs to be checked again after push and start. I put check flaps, but I don't think I put trim. So I need to remember to check the trim after we start the aircraft, right? Okay, moving on for now. Let me find my place in my checklist. Okay, auto brake needs to go to RTO. Remember, it's in a different place depending on which aircraft, which version of the 747 you're flying. So sometimes it's up here, sometimes it's over here. In this aircraft, it's down here. So left click down to RTO. Fantastic. TCAS switch, standby, and then test. We already took care of that. And then it says to move it to TARA. So TARA on that. And then it says biasing mode above, but does it even have the biasing mode? Let's just zip over here and see. I don't remember if it does or not. Nope. There should be a little switch for biasing mode above or below. It doesn't have it though, so I'm assuming it just automatically chooses which one based on your what part of the flight you're in, what stage of the flight you're in. So no smoking seatbelt signs need to go to auto. Those are going to be up top here, right? Nope, they're not up top here. They're down below, right? Oh, I'm lost. Been a little while. Here we go. No smoking, fasten seatbelt signs. They're on auto now. Flight deck door needs to be locked, and the flight deck door is usually down here. Well, we don't have any passengers anyway, so I'm not actually worried about the flight deck door. Press the traffic button on here. Here we go. And fuel button, press and check fuel. So that's talking about this guy over here. So I'll press the fuel button, and then you look down here and you check your fuel, and you can see we're at 12.5 on each of these. So we're going to have the little issue with the cross feeds not being able to decide which whether they're supposed to be on or off. And then all fuel pumps need to come on now. And we shouldn't need the override pump. So, and then crossfeed says if tank 2 and 3 are greater than 1 and 4, crossfeed 2 is on, right? So if you look down here, if these two are greater than these two, then you have to have your crossfeeds on. And we've got our crossfeeds on right now. We're going to leave them on, but we may get the message telling us to turn them off because when the fuel's even in all the tanks, the system has a hard time deciding. And that's actually going to take us to our engine start and pushback. Now, we don't actually need to push the aircraft back in this case, because the way this ramp is set up, you can see we just pull straight forward there, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to show you the overhead outside view here real quick, just so that you can see where we are on the airfield. Right, so runway 22 is this end. Well, come back here. Oh, why did it do that? Oh, I know why it did that. Let's go to this view and then go to top down. Sorry about that. So runway 22 is down here, so that's where we're gonna have to go, and we'll take a look at the taxi chart, and you guys will be able to see what that means for us. But you can see everything's pretty much good to go. We don't have the APU running though, so let's hop inside. We can start up the APU, and then we can get that ground power off. So APU is firing up right now, and while it's doing that, let's take a look at our engine startup and pushback procedures. What do we got on here? Jay Kidder's on here. Hey Jay, welcome buddy. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. We got Greg as a sponsor now, Jay, and then we're running a little donation drive here for a new throttle quadrant. So not real big on asking for things, but I decided to give it a shot based on one of you guys' suggestions. So. But either way, to be fair, you never need to push back. Fences were made to be broken. Come on, TK, you're killing me, man. Alright, engine start and pushback procedures. Doors are closed and locked. We requested it. We don't need a pushback. Beacon light needs to come on, and that'll be on both. And then hydraulic demand pump switches 1 through 3 go to auto, 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 stays on auxiliary. Pack 1 can stay on, and then 2 and 3 both go off. And I think we've been able to get this one started with the pack on, but if we have an issue, we can always turn pack 1 off as well. Engine bleed air switches all need to be on. That's these 4 down here. Open the engines page on the ICUS. So if we go to this page here, there's the engines page down there. Parking brake actually is going to stay on because we're not actually pushing back, and I don't think it's on right now, to be honest with you. No, when I reset things, oh, you know why? It's probably, we've also got the chocks on. So let's go down here and let's pop this guy up. So service vehicles are all gone. That's fantastic. Ground connections, hop up top here. APU is running now, so let's go ahead and take APU gens 1 and 2. There we go. And then external power can go away. So ground connections, release the ground power, and then remove the chocks. There we go. And then I think we're good to go on that. We can put this over on the progress. Actually, this one goes on active legs page for now. That takes care of that. And what's next? And then it takes us to the engine start procedure. So we're going to use the auto start function on this. So auto start is on, continuous ignition goes on, and then fuel control switches 1 through 4 all to the run position, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go, all in the run position. And then we get a little warning about that. So that there is the crossfeed warning I was telling you about. Okay, and then start select on 1 and 4. Right. So Hey Alex, what's going on, buddy? Alright, so 1 and 4, we're just going to left click 1 and 4 and let them do their thing. So the white lights come on means they're starting. You can see down here, we'll pop this up, the N2's coming up, and because the fuel's already turned on, it's going to automatically start the engines. And of course, we've got that lovely caution light that's never going to go away now. Thanks a lot, PMDG. Really appreciate you taking the time to fix the $135 aircraft that we have. Whatever, it is what it is, right? All right, shrink that down. So there's 1 and 4 starting up right now. We'll let those stabilize, and then we'll take care of engines 2 and 3. And then while 2 and 3 are starting, we'll take a look at our taxi route. Let me make sure I got that up over here. I do indeed. I'll probably get lost anyway, but you know, it is what it is, right? So they should stabilize somewhere around 21 on the N1, I believe. Maybe I'm incorrect about that. Looks like they're a little higher than that, maybe about 25. Yeah, I know, the hydraulic pressure 4 warning automatically comes up, but they are stabilized now, so we'll go up here and let's do 2 and 3. Look for the white lights on both of those. There we go. Those are starting up. And while those are starting up, let me bring this over here and let's take a look at our taxi brief. Okay, so you should be able to see my mouse on here. We are down here on this pad out here, I believe. Maybe I'll need to take another look, but ultimately what we want to do is we want to get onto Charlie Taxiway, and we want to take Charlie all the way down to Charlie 10 for our hold short point. Alright, so that's, I mean, depending on where we're at, I'm pretty sure we're on this part of the ramp right here. Alright, so we're going to look for Charlie Taxiway, but we may be pointed in such a way that it's going to put us like right here. I don't know. We'll see once we get started. So our ATIS is on 120.8. Clearance departure is on 33.2. I don't know what metering means, but that's on 33.57. What's my, oh, my watch is telling me to move. Ground, we're on the south, so 121.9. Technically we would probably switch over as we transition up here. You could even say we're on the west. I don't know. It would just depend. And then same thing for tower. So we're going to runway 22. So tower would be 26.7 for us. And then departure, we're departing to the east. So east of departure, that would be runway 17 though. That's kind of weird how that's set up. But we'd probably be on 32.9 or 7.5. So that's pretty much your taxi brief. We'll look at a departure briefing here in a few minutes. Okay, so we've got the engines up and running now, and let's go ahead and take care of our after start procedures. First things first, APU goes off. Bam, APU is off. APU bleed air comes off, and packs all go to normal. This guy's going to go to auto, so I'm just going to do it now because it annoys me. Well, it's the next one on the list anyway. Engine wing anti-ice on under 10 degrees Celsius. Now, if you put the wing anti-ice on the ground, you're going to get a warning, right? So, I don't know. We're going to do the nacelle anti-ice. That's the 4 engines. And we'll worry about the wing anti-ice when we get ready to go airborne, because I'm pretty sure the temperature is under 10 degrees Celsius, right? Yeah, it's +7. So, what do we got next? Main display, check for warnings. The fuel cross feeds, right? So if we turn these two off, that warning should go away. But because the engines are all even on fuel, sometimes we'll get a different warning on there. So we'll see if that pops up in a minute. Taxi lights need to come on, and runway turnoff lights as well. Flaps need to be set to 10. There we go, flaps 10, we're watching that come in. Let's go ahead and set that trim while I'm here so that I don't forget. So trim needs to be 6.1, and it's pretty close to that already. So just bring it up just a hair. That was maybe a bit too much. Come on, there we go, 6.1, I think that's pretty close. And that'll complete our pushback. Going to take us into our taxi checklist itself. Taxi clearance is already requested. Taxiways have been noted. We don't need ground guidance. We do need to check our flight controls, however, and that again is using this guy over here. So the status page is what we're looking for, and you can see our flight controls pop up down here, and let's go ahead and take care of those real quick. We got full left, full right. Let me pop up the chat window over here, and then neutral all the way up. And the yoke over here isn't moving because we have it down. There we go, see, all the way down, and then neutral, and then full left on the rudder, full right on the rudder, and neutral, and we're good to go on that. Let's shrink that back down, and we can put that back on the engines page for now. And then that takes us all the way up to our hold short point checklist there. I hate that caution light, that really ticks me off. What do we got on here? Anything going on? Let's go mudding. Yeah, good times, right? Alex is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm doing really good, Alex. Having a great time here. Just doing a little bit of a fundraiser. Looks like we've had a couple more donations over there too, so thank you very much. I really appreciate that, guys. There's also, I think, a way to get this chat window to pop up on the screen. And so I thought about maybe having that pop up over here, but I didn't want to do it quite yet. But if you guys want that in the future, let me know, and then that's something we can look at doing. Bad Sim and Tower gave me squawk code 7500. That's funny. Oh, good times. I take it Jay was the one who gave the donation. Well, if it was you, Jay, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Okay, give me just a second here, guys. I'm going to take the headset off so I can put my Track IR hat on. Alright, got it on here. Let me get Track IR on. Headset always fits kind of weird when I put my hat on, and I actually broke one headset because I pulled too hard on it. That kind of sucked. Alright, Track IR should be coming on here in just a second. And there it is. Track IR is on. I think we've got everything else good to go, right? Did we miss anything, guys? Nope, we got all our checklists done, everything up to the whole point. So, let me adjust in my seat here, my big old butt. And let's get that parking brake off. There we go, and let's bring in a little throttle. And remember, when you let off the throttles, this sucker slows down quick. Now, I have to say the height of the seat is much better in this one than it was in previous 747s, but something interesting. So if you guys have ever tried to fly P3D in VR, it's a trip. Now the frame rates are horrid, and it's, you know, the resolution in VR is kind of crummy right now. Kinda is an understatement, actually. It's pretty crummy. So anyway, the point I'm getting at is either way, despite that, if you, hold on, we're going way too fast here. Let me cut those throttles back. If you ever get a chance to try VR on P3D, I'm telling you, you really feel like you're sitting on this flight deck, and you really, really get a feel for, oh, let's stop. That's going to heat up the brakes. I don't think I want to go that way. I think my wing would probably hit that, or it'd be really close. So there's Charlie over there, so let's take a left. Anyway, you really feel like you're sitting inside this thing, and you really get a feel for how high the flight deck is above the ground when you're in VR. I mean, it's really a trip, guys. It's something else. Okay, so Charlie should go up to the right here, shouldn't it? See, now that's where the signs are a little disappointing to me. I think we need to go, do we follow it up and around there, or do we take it? No, we follow it up and around, don't we? Okay, let's make a full turn here. There we go. Boy, I'm having a hard time taxiing around. Alright, okay, so this should be Charlie here. So we'll take this all the way up and around. Yeah, big jump. Yeah, sorry Rob, I forgot. Big jump. Well, it's only when I use the hotkey to essentially freeze Track IR, but when I'm actually starting it up, it doesn't jump. It centers wherever I'm sitting. So what's with my throttles? Oh, I knew it. Yep, there's that reverse thrust thing going on. There we go, that's a little better. Wondered why it was trying to pull to the side. So anyway, yeah, if you guys ever get an opportunity to fly it in VR, now I'll tell you this is my opinion. So I've had the opportunity to fly in VR. It's really cool. But if you want to fly in VR in P3D, I highly recommend you wait for the next generation of VR headsets. Wait for the next generation, because right now the resolution is terrible. Okay, it's not high def resolution at all. It's like looking at an old TV, and you get this thing on there called the screen door effect, and it really makes it hard to see detail, and the frame rates are absolutely atrocious. And when I say atrocious, I mean bad. So right now we're getting 37 frames a second. We'd be lucky to get 10 frames a second if we were in VR. It's that bad. you're having a mental breakdown. Yeah, 7500 is not the right squawk code. Alright, we're looking good here though, taxiing on out. And I'm managing to keep it somewhat straight here. Pull those throttles back just a little bit. I really hate this throttle issue, guys. It's been driving me nuts. Now, Ram took the time to, he put a lot of thought into it. I haven't replied to the comment yet, but Ram left a comment on one of my videos regarding this particular issue, and he had some great thoughts, and I took a look at that. But you know what? I did what Ram suggested, which was essentially resetting the profile, and it didn't make a difference. So I still have the same problem. Pat's on here. Hey Pat, how you doing, buddy? Great to have you here. How are we looking here? Let's bring it just a touch more. There we go. Well, the taxi's not too long, I guess. I thought it was going to be longer, but man, I'll tell you what. This scenery here, this KMSP from Flightbeam is beautiful. You guys do me a favor, down in the chat there, just say thanks to Jay for donating this scenery, man. He donated this, and it is absolutely stunning, man. You guys saw how little I moved those throttles, right? And it got all the way up to 20 knots on the ground speed. Look at this guy coming off the runway here. You gotta love how AI traffic hits the runway and manages to stop within like 1,000 feet. No matter how fast they're going, man, they just bring it to a quick stop, don't they? It's pretty impressive. So he's already exiting the runway. Let's see, we've got a runway to cross here. I don't see any traffic coming that way. I don't see any traffic coming that way. So we're going to cross the runway, but we got to see where he's going. So let me cut the throttles back here. And I'm trying not to heat the brakes, so I'm being real gentle on him, because I need to wait and see where he's going to go. Please tell me you're not sitting there waiting on me, dude. Where are you going? He's having a hard time, isn't he? AI traffic kills me, man. It really does. Definitely need a good ATC program. Hey, Ducky's here. What's going on, Duck? How are you, buddy? I was checking out some of your chat over there on Discord. Stobart Trucking VTC long haul. Well, what's going on is we're taxiing out to the runway right now, and I'll bet that 737 that just landed, he's going to exit right there, and he's going to taxi right into us. Watch. Nope, he's going the other way. I'm surprised by that. Oh, nope, he changed his mind. He's not sure where he's going. Look at him. What is going on with the AI traffic, you guys? Alright, well, please tell me that didn't go into reverse. It didn't. Okay. Let's see if we can get out of the way here before he runs into us, because they will. They'll run right into you. They don't care. Yep, that's you, Stobart Trucking. How you doing, buddy? Great to have you here. Is this your first time on our stream? My wing would have hit him. Yeah, the wing went right through that airplane. Yeah, the AI is fantastic, isn't it? It's just a trip. Yeah, now I'm confused, Stobart. Slow it down just a little bit here. Oh, there's quite a bit of traffic inbound, isn't there? We're going to have to get ready to go and then go quick once we get on that runway. One more runway to cross up here. Usually very quiet. Well, you're not making any noise. It's texting in the chat, so I guess it's easier to be quote-unquote loud when you're in chat, right? What about Delta? Alright. Anybody coming? Nobody that way? Nobody that way? I think we're good. Throttles aren't going into reverse right now. That's nice. That guy's still more than 5 miles out right now, isn't he? He's out there a little ways.
Approaching. 1, 2, left.
Well, the throttles are being somewhat cooperative today, so that's nice. Boy, this scenery looks amazing. 800 miles, that is so much. Longest flight, 800 miles. What are we talking about? Yeah, I'm still using UT Live, Robert. I just need to find a good ATC program for it now. Alright, there's Charlie 9. Why did he go around? That was interesting. You can actually add liveries to that, Jay. Just so you know. Alright. Coming up on our hold short point here. It doesn't look like we got anybody else inbound. I don't know why that last guy went around. There shouldn't have been anybody on the runway. Alright. Let's cozy up here to the line. Alright, track hire coming off. Little jump here. Big jump. Boom. There we go. Alright, let's take a look here. We know some of the stuff we got to do. Let's get these landing lights on. All of those got to come on. Strobe lights need to come on. And what else do we need? Landing lights, strobe lights, transponders good. Position and hold. Flaps. Check flaps. I wrote that in there. Flaps are good. I don't see anybody. Oh, yep, we got an aircraft on approach. How come he's not showing up on the TCAS right now? We've got traffic turned on. Yeah, maybe we'll have to get a chance. I can show you how to do that, Jay. It's not that hard once you know how to do it. A tutorial video. Maybe I should, you know what? I should spend a little time messing around with UT Live and then do a tutorial video, shouldn't I? Alright, so we got this guy in short final. Then we should, nope, looks like there's another one out there. We're going to be waiting here a couple minutes, guys. Check it out. There's another aircraft out there. So I think we're going to probably have to wait for him because he's going to take forever to get off the runway, which means he's going to be crawling up our backside. So we'll wait a minute for him, and then if there's another aircraft on approach after he comes in, then we'll just go. So good morning, Kevin. How are you? Great to have you here, buddy. All right, so while we're sitting here waiting, guys, just a reminder. So what we're doing here is actually a fundraiser. Something that I don't normally do, so I do feel a little awkward about it, but you know, you guys have always been fantastic. You guys are always awesome with me. So what I want to do here is I want to get a new throttle, and so you can see down at the bottom here, in the bottom right corner, there's a little bar there that says you know, what we're trying to get to, which we're trying to get to 1,000. Now again, that's an estimate. You know, the really good throttles out there, they're really expensive. So what I'm just trying to do is raise as much money as I can towards that. But keep in mind, of course, there's no requirement for anybody to donate. A couple folks have already, and I really appreciate it. You know, but there's no requirement to donate or anything like that. And I don't get upset with people who don't donate or any weirdness like that. You want to enjoy the Captain Mac channel. Enjoy the Captain Mac channel. That's what it's here for. In the meantime, that's the idea, is to work towards a new throttle. So I'm going to probably have that up there until we meet that goal, or until we get to the end of the period there, which I think it's set at 62 days. End of March is what I'm looking for. I'm going to hop outside while this aircraft comes in on short final. So anyway, the point is that's kind of what we're doing today. But of course, our primary goal here is to have fun. That's what I want to do, guys, and I hope that you guys are having fun, because I'm having fun already. So let's get a view. There we go. We should be able to see him when he comes in and lands. If it holds that view, we'll see what happens. But anyway, so that's kind of what we got going on here. Little fundraiser. There's you know, it says there in the text to follow the link in the description down there. So follow that link if you are interested in donating to the cause, and if not, don't worry about it. No big deal. He's got to be gone already, right? Yeah, he just flew by, didn't he? Where's he at? There he is. Okay. There's nobody else coming. Track hour coming on. Big jump here. Boom. There we go. So anyway, yeah, a little donation drive. If you guys are interested in helping me out, I'd really appreciate it. If not, don't worry. I want you to enjoy the stream either way. So let's have a good time with this. Let's get her out here on the runway, and let's get this bird in the air. Oh yeah, there's another plane out there. I just caught a glimpse of him. Alright, remember we're using takeoff 2 on this one. You know, it says to set the parking brakes. I am not setting the parking brakes. Like, that just never works out right. Ah, stupid reverse thrust. You hear that? Oh, come on, enough. In order to get it out, you have to run the throttles way up, and then if you run them back immediately, it tries to go back to reverse thrust. It's the most ridiculous thing on the planet. This is why I'm in the market for a new throttle quadrant, guys. In case you're wondering why I'm doing this. It drives me insane. Okay, so we're ready for takeoff. Auto throttle is already armed. Fantastic. Autopilot settings are where we want them. Oh, you know what? We didn't do our departure briefing, so that guy on short final track hours coming back off. Big jump. There we go. So let's take care of our departure briefing real quick, because I haven't even looked at it yet. And that's no bueno, right? I got to look at this. So let me pop it up over here. It is the Colt 6. So let me find that on here. There it is. Come on now. There we go. And then let me pop it up here for you guys. Boom, there we go. Okay, you should be able to see my mouse on there now. So it's the Colt 6 departure from us. We're taking runway 22. Wow, this thing actually looks a little crazy here, doesn't it? So runway 22 should be this one right here, and it looks like it's probably going to be vectors out of here, right? So everything's going to probably be vectors, and then I imagine it's going to take us around a taxi. We'll take a look at our flight plan real quick, and then to Colt, and then I'm not sure from there, but you can see. So where's runway 22 on here? It doesn't even show runway 22 on this one, which is interesting, but it is a viable departure for runway 22, and I'm not seeing runway 22 listed on here anywhere, and I'm sure one of you guys will go and take a look at this and find where I messed up. But either way, we'll be taking runway 22 on our departure, and we're going to mostly let the FMC do its job. Do we have it down here? Here we go. Runway's 22, initially assigned heading. That's all it says for our departure. So, all right, well, let's see what we get out of it, right? Let me switch this back over to the aircraft for you. Somebody's probably had to go around by now, right? Someone's going around. Yeah, someone's definitely going around. Okay, so taking a quick look down here at our legs page. Yep, taxi, Colt, land free, and then DLL. So, and we start out with vectors. So we're going to basically fly straight out until we decide to do otherwise. And let's... man, I've been flying so many different aircraft lately, I can't keep up. Tracker coming on, big jump here. Boom, there it is. All right, let's get a little thrust in there. I'm not even going to hold the brakes. I'm just going to bring the thrust up. Oh, there's that reverse again. See that? And it was a different one this time. Different one went into reverse. Let's try this again. There we go. Thrust coming up. Toga mode. Takeoff 2. Caution light will not go away thanks to PMDG's unwillingness to fix a stupid, simple little bug. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it, guys. Nice to know you care about your customers.
80 knots.
Check. Oh, we're going to be on V1 quick, man. Look at that. Oh, we're getting off the ground quick.
Rotate.
That gusty wind. You see the speed?
V2. Positive rate of climb.
Gear coming up. I didn't forget. Wow. This sucker's gonna climb like a banshee, boys. Ooh, gusty winds and stuff. Okay, let's go to flaps 5. Whoa. You guys see that? There's some turbulence there, huh? That's something else there. Bringing that nose down. A little downward trim on the trim setting there. Help level us out. We can go to flaps 1 here shortly. Boy, we're not heavy at all, are we? It wants to get to 250, so flaps going to 1. Let's go ahead and let's make the switch here from vectors to taxi. We'll put that right in there. Execute that. Boom, there we go. And now it's telling us make a nice sharp turn here. Don't let it descend too quick. It's going to try and drop on you. The nose is going to want to drop when you go into that turn. So just keep that in mind. Alright, looking pretty good so far. Coming through 5,000 feet here. We can bring the flaps up if we want. Hopefully it won't try to get us to go above 250. Flaps are coming up now. Watching that rated descent. We don't want to descend, and it should want us to climb because look at how fast that speed's going up. So just trying to follow that flight director there. There's the speed at 250. So even though it wants us to nose it over, I don't want to do that because I want that speed to stay around 250 knots, right? I don't want to go above it. Coming up on 7,000 feet here, looking good on our speed. Boy, it really wants to cut in tight on that corner, doesn't it? Looking pretty good, looking pretty good. Bring that nose up just a hair. Start leveling her off just a little bit at a time. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful, guys. Once you know how to fly it, this airplane's really easy to fly. Bring that nose down just a little bit. We don't want to get too slow there. Looks like we went just a little past it there. Be coming up on 10,000 feet here shortly. Let's go ahead and get the autopilot on now. Click that guy. Track IR coming off. A little jump. Boom. There we go. Let's get the landing lights off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7 over there. Fantastic. Frame rates are looking absolutely beautiful. Flaps are up. Gear is up. Anti-ice. Does it want us to turn it off or on? Let's see here. It's at 12 degrees, so I guess we can turn it off. We got a temperature inversion. Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at our after takeoff / climb procedures. Landing taxi lights are off. Altitude is set where we want it. We don't need to change any frequencies. Altimeter will readjust once we get above 18,000, and continuous ignition. Can't really get to it from this angle. That guy can come off. Get back over here, and we'll go to standard on the altimeter once we get above 18,000, and then that's it. We are on our way. Let's go ahead and zoom this guy out a little bit. I don't think we need weather on there. We can throw it on real quick, but I don't think anything's going to pop up. So actually somebody was asking me a question yesterday regarding the weather radar because they want to use Rex Skyforce, but they're not sure if they can get rid of Active Sky Cloud Art. They use Active Sky and Active Sky Cloud Art right now. So I'm using Active Sky with Rex Skyforce, right? So I've got the weather radar on now, and I'm going to leave it on, and we'll see if we pick up any moisture or not. These clouds probably don't have any moisture in them, but I'm going to leave it on and see if they work together. And they should, because what it should be doing is it should be taking the readback on here should be related to what Active Sky says is in the air, not what you see necessarily, but what should be there. So just because we see clouds doesn't mean there's moisture, right? And so since these are just essentially a drawing in the sim, this can't pick that up anyway. So what it should be doing is it should be taking information as a readback from what Active Sky is saying the weather should be, right? I hope that makes sense. Maybe I confused you guys. Excuse me. In your superhero form, huh? Proper quack. What do you mean by does it divert AI aircraft, Scotty? Oh, my nose itches. Alright, moving right along, guys. Up through some of the clouds here, looking fantastic. Waiting until we get to 18,000 so that we can go ahead and set our altimeter to standard, and then maybe we'll just hop outside and see how it goes. Our frame rates are absolutely beautiful. I'm loving it. I put in the affinity mask setting on the config file, and boy, it made a huge difference, didn't it? And it seems to be nice and smooth on the stream too, whereas before we were getting choppiness on our stream, now we're not. So it's really nice. I really love it. So anyway, how's everybody doing today? I'm doing fantastic. I get to fly. When I'm done with this, I'm actually going to meet with a friend of mine. I don't know if he's watching right now. Wood, if you're on here, howdy. Say hi in the chat for us. But a good friend of mine, former Marine, retired from the Marine Corps years ago. Him and I are going to try and hop onto DCS World and do some flying there in a little bit. My beautiful wife just walked in looking absolutely lovely. Let me hit standard here real quick. And there we go, standard. And we are on the way. So everything's looking good. Oh, you should see this. The frame rates are beautiful. Everything's absolutely awesome. So, and these guys are awesome. They already donated like 23 bucks, and another guy sponsored the channel. You guys are awesome, by the way. Just tell my wife how awesome you guys are. Yeah, so they don't pop up on here. They pop up over here on the actual stream. So we got like 20. I can't quite see it because it's small. Let me make it larger here. We got almost 30 bucks on there. Check you guys out, man. We got like 30 bucks on the donations already. You guys are awesome, man. Yeah, that's awesome. TK, right now we are spending a lot of our time in the Harrier that was released by Razbam, which is a lot of fun to fly, by the way. So I'm a member of Carrier Strike Group 1, or Virtual Carrier Strike Group 1, which is, we've got actually several squadrons. So when the F-18 releases soon, which I already pre-ordered, then I'll spend time in the F-18. I'll still fly the Harrier a bit, but what we're really looking forward to is when the F-14 Tomcat drops. I forget who's making it, but that's actually set up so that you can fly two people in the same aircraft. One is the Rio and one is the pilot. And Wood and I were really good friends. We hit it off right away. I haven't even known him that long, but we're great friends. He's a fantastic individual, and we're actually trying to get as much time as we can flying together. And what we're going to do is, you know, you can fly any of the squadron aircraft that you own on any night that we fly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take turns. So some nights we'll both fly the Harrier, some nights we'll both fly the F-18, and then we'll also take turns switching out in the F-14. So one day one of us will be pilot, and one of us will be Rio, and the next day one of us will be the, you know, we'll switch, right? So maybe it is Leatherneck. I don't honestly know, TK. I think it was Leatherneck originally, but they switched. I think it's a different company now. I don't remember. Hillel, so DCS videos. So that's something I'm actually looking to do in the not too distant future. I think I'm going to start out with some tutorials on the Harrier. But I need to get a little more practice with it, and I need to get an opportunity to really... So I fly in VR on DCS World, and so you have to make some changes to your computer, and then also I have to record using OBS rather than, oh, what you call it, rather than, now my brain doesn't want to work, Shadowplay. To record in VR. However, for tutorials and stuff, I'm thinking that probably what I'll end up doing is I won't fly in VR when I do tutorials, because every little tiny movement of your head in VR for a recording looks really funky. It looks like I'm moving around constantly, even when I'm just talking. But in VR, you don't notice it because VR is different than a flat screen, right? So what you're looking at right now, when I move my view here, the screen essentially slides to the side to change the view. But when you're in VR and you look over here, it's like really sitting inside the aircraft. It's a trip, man. Gisso Data, is that Gisso Data? Gisso Data? Thank you, I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, if you guys are interested in donating to the cause of getting a new throttle quadrant, you'll see that https streamlabs.com link is actually down in the show notes below the stream there. If you click on that and donate there, it'll pop up on the, you'll get a little pop up here that'll show your name and how much you donated, and then that little green bar will move a little further to the right. And so that's why I set that up that way. So if you're interested in donating, please feel free to, and if not, don't worry about it. Nobody's going to hurt my feelings if they don't donate. So I have the A10C, Hillel. There's a virtual fighter group out there, or not a fighter wing, it's a virtual air wing that flies strictly, well, not strictly, but mostly the A10C. And I forget what it is. I think it's the 168th, virtual 168th. That it looks like a lot of fun, man. You ought to check them out. K50K, yeah, DCS is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And the the A10C, I can't talk. The A10C is an absolutely beautiful aircraft. Very, very well done. Did you just subscribe, Gisso Data? And if you did it pop up on there? Because when you subscribe to the channel, that should pop up on there as well. Kevin, put the aircraft to cold and dark and do the auto start function where you turn all the fuel pumps on before starting the aircraft, and I'll bet it pops up for you. Oh, I'm sure there is, Jay. I'm sure there is. I think it's 168. You know what, Hillel? Give me a minute here. Let me find it for you. I know I've got a link to it on Discord. So I'm pulling up Discord right now. And I do have a Discord channel, guys. I'm not real active on it at the moment. Discord is still kind of a new thing to me, so you know, bear with me. But if you hop on my Discord channel, there's a little bit of chatting going on there. So let me see if I can find it here. I think it was maybe in here. No. Give me a minute, guys. I'm going to try and find this for Hillel. Yep, here it is. Oh, I just heard something go ding-a-ling. What did we get on there? Who was that? I didn't see it. Hey, check you out, Jisso Data, doing a, oh, there it is, popping up right now, donating through the Super Chat, $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, man. That was fantastic. Very, very generous of you. Thank you very much. All right, Hillel, this should pop up for you. There we go. There you go, Hillel. Go to that link. When you sub Jisso Data, by the way, thank you very much for the donation. I really appreciate it. When you sub, did the fact that you subscribe pop up in there as well? There is no former Marine. Yeah, that's what, who was it that said that? Mattis? No, it wasn't Mattis. It was the current Commandant or something said that. I don't know what SEK is, but it's $10 to me. You donated 10. Well, I apologize that your new subscription didn't pop up down there, but it's supposed to, so I'm not really sure why it didn't. Hillel, let me know if you have any problems following that link, my friend. That's right, every dollar counts, Fishy Gaming. I really appreciate anything that you guys donate. It doesn't matter if it's rupees, dollars, whatever. It makes no difference to me. Hey, check it out on the weather radar, though. So I don't remember who asked me about it, but if you're the one who asked me if Rex Skyforce combined with Active Sky, now remember, I have Active Sky Cloud Art turned off. You can see we're getting a little bit of return on some of these clouds up here. So clearly Rex Skyforce does not affect your weather radar on your PMDG aircraft. Well, that was really generous of you, Jisso Dad. I really appreciate that. And for anybody that's new to the channel, doesn't know me really well, I'm not the, you know, I'm not the kind of guy who thinks that you guys are here to do something for me. I'm here to do something for you. And when you guys, you know, when you guys give back in forms of donations, and I get donations regularly. Both the sceneries that we're flying today, KMSP and CYYZ, were donated by two individuals, Jay and Shivam, both sponsors of the channel as well. So I've gotten lots of donations, and I'll tell you what, you guys on YouTube have always been absolutely fantastic with me, and I can never tell you how much I really appreciate the way I've been treated since I started this channel. You know, we're at almost 6,000 subscribers, and one of the points I made when I did my my first flight review was, you know what, I'd rather have, you know, 6,000 or 10,000 subscribers that I can interact with, that I know and that give a crap, than have 100,000 subscribers and not know anybody and nobody cares. So I really appreciate you guys. I think you're all fantastic, and I love having you guys on here. It's absolutely wonderful. Alright, coming up on our top of climb here, it looks like we've already got a scheduled step climb right after this. You can see that right there. So this aircraft will auto step, and you can see there's just a little bit of moisture. Almost looks like a grid pattern out there, and I don't know if that's just the way the moisture is right now, or if maybe that's something because we're using Rex Skyforce. We won't really know until we get an opportunity to see some nasty weather and really see what it looks like. Oh, thanks, Jisso Data. Yeah, I love doing these streams, man. I told my friend, I told my friend Wood that I was gonna hop on here because he wants to do some flying today, and we're gonna spend some time in the Harriers working on some formations and some wingman stuff, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I do look forward to getting some videos up of DCS World. It's a lot of fun. If you guys go to my channel, you'll find on there, you might have to search for it, but there's the Bounty Hunters official promotional video. So that was our original squadron, was the Bounty Hunters. And then because we've expanded, we've got more members and all of that stuff. It's changed from the bounty hunters to Carrier Strike Group 1, and then the bounty hunters is one of the wings that falls under the Carrier Strike Group. So, but I put together a promotional video for the bounty hunters. It's a really cool video. It's a lot of fun to watch. And you see us flying the F-18s around, doing some mid-air refueling, flying in formation, dropping bombs, you name it. It's going on. Air-to-air combat. It's all in that video, and it's really cool video. So if you guys get an opportunity, check that out for sure. All right, Dave. We'll see you back here in a little bit, buddy. All right, guys. Well, into our step climb now. I'm not sure how high it's going to take us. Let's hop down here and change these up a little bit. So we want this on the active legs page. I got to pop that one up because it doesn't always work right for some reason. I think it's just because I have the view so far to the left here. Put this one on the progress page. Right now it's saying 13,000 pounds left at CYYZ, so that's a little more than or a little less than what we originally anticipated. We're probably fighting a headwind. I haven't really looked at it, but we can go to the next page here. And actually we've got a tailwind, a 40-knot tailwind, which sometimes will burn a little more fuel at first because the aircraft's fighting to get caught up with the wind and maintain speed, right? So that's something to keep in mind as well. But either way, we're looking really good here. Put that back over here on this page, and it's taking us up to flight level 410. We are super light, so up to 410 we go. If you're just joining the stream, that caution light won't go away. It's a stupid bug that PMDG doesn't want to address, so, you know, don't beat me up too bad in the comments there for it. Your computer crashed while trying to donate? That's kind of weird. I wonder why that happened. Well, if you're willing to give it another shot, Hillel, give it another go. I put a link in the chat there. I don't know. You know what? Let me just put it in here for you again and see. So I put this link in there for you. This is for that virtual fighter wing, or it's not a fighter wing, but it's a virtual air wing for A-10s that I was telling you about. So follow that link, and if you're willing, give the donation another shot. Okay, good. Yeah, it's a cool website too. They did a great job putting it together. We're actually going to try and do some work on ours to make it look a little more like theirs. Alright guys, 2,000 feet to go. We'll be up at 410. Yeah, my pleasure, Hillel. Let me know how it works out, man, if you join up with them or what. I'll tell you what, guys, that A-10C was well done. We had a guy in our fighter wing for a little while who's a current F-18 pilot, and there's some Captain Mac coughing for you there. Hold on. Oh, there's Hillel donating right there. Thank you very much, Hillel. Really appreciate that, buddy. Looks like your computer didn't crash this time. That's good. Anyway, we had a guy in our virtual fighter wing that's currently a real-world F-18 pilot, and you know, some of those systems are similar. Hold on one sec, guys. Anyway, some of those systems are very similar, and so he was teaching them to us, and man, I'll tell you what, we learned some cool stuff. I forgot most of it because I haven't flown with him in a while. I just started flying with him again, but really looking forward to what the future holds with that. Just sending a text to my buddy Wood here real quick. I don't know if he's on here or not. Yeah, I really appreciate it, Hillel. Man, you guys are awesome. You really are. I'm always blown away by the generosity of the guys on the streams and on the channel and stuff. Just always amazes me. Yeah, I need a drink, right? Not an alcoholic drink, though. Try and keep it clean on the channel here. I'm telling you, it's a stinking, it's these allergies, man. They kick my butt every time. Come on, guys, let's talk it up here. That's what we're here for, to have a good time, right? Oh, goodness. Everybody got all quiet now. Everybody gets bored during cruise, don't they? It gets all quiet. Nobody really talks very much. I think we need to maybe do another fundraiser in the future for Mac Air, man. Although you guys are great at donating over there, man. I love it. You guys. I'll tell you what, that airline has really taken off, pun intended, because of you guys. It's absolutely fantastic. Let's see what we got going on here. Who's over on Facebook? Yeah, I have failures turned on. So actually, Fabian, it's probably Fabian, right? Fabian, I have it set. There's an option, excuse me, in the FMC to set it for auto step climbs. And so if you choose that option, in fact, give me a second here and I'll take a look at it. Let me pull up here to I was pushed back from the desk a little bit. So if you go down in here, I'll pop this up so you can see it nice and clear. So go to menu and it should be under PMDG setup, either aircraft or options. Let's find out. So simulation, realistic autopilot, auto throttle mode. Next page. I'm not sure where it's at off the top of my head. There's service-based failures turned on. Let's hope we don't have any because I'm not ready for them. There's call-outs, more call-outs, auto step climbs. So page 6 under simulation is you can choose auto step climbs, and you can also turn on, off, pause at top of descent. There's tons of options in here. We've had a little bit of discussion about possibly doing some advanced tutorials, and a couple people said they'd like those. So far, though, the only responses I've gotten is I think 2 responses for the NGX. So let's see. Oh, that's all right, Hillel. You know, but it's there if you decide you want to do it, man. On phone while at the gym with the treadmill. On desktop PC. Gotta love the technology, man. That's awesome, Scotty. Alright, so we got a while to go before we get to Moni, but if we look over here at our progress page, it's saying that we're estimated to be at CYYZ at 17:28. So let's look at the current time here. It's 16:32, so it's about an hour out. So I'm going to pull up my active sky over here. I know you guys can't see this window, and I'm going to get the weather for 1 hour from now, which is estimated to be 120 degrees at 8 knots. Let me write that down. CYYZ, 120 at 8. And the altimeter 3039. Now it might change a little bit, but hopefully it won't change too much. And that's basically what the wind is right now as well. In 2 hours it looks to be the same. Now it's probably going to change, but who knows, right? So, with that being said, let me go over to my charts here. Hold on, all of a sudden I've got ATC yapping in my ear. There we go. That's the oh. Okay, apparently that's a channel too. Okay. Default ATC just randomly yapping in my ear. Oh, is that right, Scotty? Alright, so let me take a look at my charts here. And we are scheduled for, I gotta pull it up again here, scheduled for the NACBO 2 arrival. So let me find that on here. I'm not seeing NACBO 2 on here anywhere. Oh, that's because I'm a MSP rather than Toronto. There we go, that's where we need to be. Let's grab the taxi chart first so that we know where we're going to be going. Fantastic. And then NACBO 2. Boy, there's a lot of arrivals on here. NACBO 2. So it's got NACBO 2 for runways 5 and 6, 15 and 33, and 23 and 24. And our wind is 120. So it looks like probably runways 15 left or right. And so I'm just looking at the ground chart here. So either one, but you know, let me ask you guys. So one of the runways is 9,088 feet and the other one's 11,050 feet. Would you rather see me bring in the landing on a short runway, or do you want to just pick the runway that probably makes more sense since it's a 747? So long runway or short runway, guys? Just say you heard voices. You guys killed me down here, man. Well, we're looking great on the donations over here, guys. Check it out, man. We're already up to 45 bucks. That's awesome, guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. That's fantastic. $45 already. You guys are awesome. I love it. So we got shorter dirt. Well, we're not landing this one on a dirt runway, Fishy Gaming. So we got 2 for short, 2 for long. So it's a tie right now. So next one to chime in on short runway or long runway wins it. Hillel says short, and so the short runway it's gonna be. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, taking a look at the charts here. So that's gonna be runway 15 right. So NACBO 2 for runway 15 right. Let me grab that chart here, and that's the arrival, and then the approach will be, let me find it here, that's 6, 15 left, there we go. ILS for 15 right, that's the one we'll take. Fantastic. Let me set that on the appropriate chart so I can show you guys in a little bit, and let's hop over here and let's get it set up. So coming down here to departure and arrival, it's going to be, that's KMSP, that's not what we want, right? So index CYYZ, and then we're looking for NACBO 2 for 15 right. So next page until we find it. There's L's, more L's. There we go. NACBO 2, 15 both, right? Because the approach is for both runways. So it's going to be runway 15 right. So ILS 15 right for us. That's the short one. And then let me just look at, so on the NACBO 2, we're going to come in out at Moni. And so that's going to take us down along Fox, down to Number, and then probably to Pilney, and then Gaddog, and then it looks like it's Vectors from there, which is fine. And then the transition onto the approach should be at Blues. So we'll grab Blues here. Here we go. And then execute that. Now there will be a there's Vectors in there, right? So if we go to the legs page, you can see it goes to Moni, and then shot, and then whatever that is, and then box, and then Ebgag, Nakbo, Nuber, Rokto, Pengo. Let me pull the chart back up over here as I'm looking at these. It just makes more sense. So, and then Pilney, and then Igtil, and then Gaddog, and then Vectors, and then Blues. And so when we do our arrival and approach briefing here shortly, we'll show you what that looks like, right? So on the nav radio, it should tune it in for us automatically. We could pre-select it, I believe. So let's put in 110.9 or 5. 10.9 or 5. Put that in the pre-select. Invalid entry. Okay. Well, we'll just leave it as is for now then, and we'll see what happens. But if I remember correctly, it does it automatically. It's not an issue. So back to the legs page. And why don't we go ahead and brief the arrival while we're sitting here. Let me pull that up for you guys. There we go. And you should be able to see my mouse now. So this is our arrival here, the NACBO 2 arrival for both runways 15 left and right, or for 33 left and right. And so we're coming in way out here at Moni. and then it's to shot, whatever that is, box, ebgag, NACBO, and then down here to Newber, and then a left to Rockto, so you can see how all these come together here, and then down to Pengo, and then a left over here to Pilney, and then a left to Igtil and Gadog, and then you can see we're on vectors from there. So runway 15 right is this runway right here. So we'll go on vectors, and then we'll probably just use the come on brain function, the heading function, to swing it around and get us lined up for that approach, which I'll brief here in a minute. However, as we're coming down in here, we need to be between 10 and 6,000 at Rockto. Max speed is 220 at Pilney, and then at 3,000 feet out here at Gadog. So we want to make sure that those are set properly in the FMC. ATIS is 120.825, airport elevation is 569 feet. Let's take a look at the approach now. The ILS runway 15 right approach, ATIS again 20.825, London radio on 23.275. Toronto arrival's got 3 frequencies. I don't know which one we're using. Same thing for tower. There's 2 of them up there. 3 of them for ground. And yeah, good times. So, and those frequencies are all probably listed on the airport chart as to which ones you're supposed to use for tower and ground and all that. But anyway, localizer frequency is 110.905 with a final approach course of 147 degrees. Glide slope intercept at Hoffs at 2,010 feet. ILS decision altitude is 752 feet, not feet, but feet, with an airport elevation of 569 feet. Missed approach is going to be a climb to 1,100 feet on heading 147, so basically runway heading, and then a climbing right turn to 3,000 feet to intercept the outbound 189 degree radial from the CYYZ VOR to Petvo. So when we look at our plan view here, we're going to intercept at Blues out here, so we'll be at 3,000 feet. We'll use heading mode to swing around, and then we'll get her lined up at Blues, and then on in from there. And then for the missed approach, climb straight out until you reach 1,100 feet, and then it's a climbing right turn to 3,000 until you intercept this radial, and then out to Petvo for a hold. And here you see at Blues, so 3,000 feet at Blues, probably has to do with terrain being at 2,000 feet, and then at Hoff, so we're not going to be on vectors very long. We're going to swing around pretty quick, actually, because we're going to be at 3,000 feet at that, whatever that last waypoint was on the arrival. Intercept at Hoffs, on down in from there, and then missed approach if necessary. Again, ILS decision altitude 752 feet, 2,600 meters or half-mile runway visual range is necessary, and I think we're pretty much good to go on that, right? Any questions about the approach or the arrival? Get the, so looking on here, what did I want to do on here? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I wanted to verify that we weren't going to go below our designated altitude. So between 6 and 10,000 at Rockto. So let's find that on here. There's Rockto. Below 10,000, above 6,000. So that's between. And then 220 knots at Pilney is our max speed. So there's Pilney, 220 knots, max speed, and then at 3,000 feet at Gadog, there we go, at 3,000 feet. So everything looks good to go on that. Put that back on the legs page there, and we're rocking and rolling. So actually, if we pull this guy up here, so now we should see, there's no step climb, but it's not giving us top of descent yet. Usually it'll give you distance to top of descent, but it's not giving us that on the progress page for some reason. Not really sure why that is. I guess because we're probably just too far out right now. But at some point it should, instead of saying to step climb none, it should say to top of descent and then give us a distance there. So looking good on all that. Did I miss anything good in the chat over here? Short runway max reverse thrust. That's what we're going to be doing. Your donations shall increase with the rants. Give it time. Oh, don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. Come on, Fishy, why would I go shower? I'm not going to shower right now, and I'm certainly not going to shower with Scotty. Come on now. You always have P3D crashing on you. Last time we flew in here, it got really, really choppy, so I'm curious to see how it goes now with the adjustments that I've made. Connor Cheney, I would highly recommend Track IR. It's fantastic. I use it on all my flights. And it just makes a huge difference, man. If you should have, in my opinion, you should have Track IR and you should have Chase Plane. I would highly recommend both of them. guys did all the talking while I was busy doing something else. Now nobody's talking. What's that all about? Then we got 22 folks on here watching. That's not bad for a Friday morning, right? A little after 11. Half of you are probably at work. Some of you are on the other side of the planet, so it's evening time for you. Good times, man. Almost 2 hours into it here. Robert, you've had issues with chase plane? What kind of issues you had? No problem, Connor. No problem at all, my friend. Nice. Oh, an A320 flight. Well, I tell you what, you guys know that I'm a fan of Black Box as far as, you know, I think their products are okay, and I think they're, now I've never had problems with their customer service. Some people have. Some people have had a lot of problems with their customer service. I have not, so I've always spoken highly of them. But I will say this: it's time to get on the freight train here and fix these airplanes, right? So we've had them for a long time. You know, I can only complain so much. Now I purchased the A330, A340 way back when they first released it, and I've had it you know, all along, and it's great. I enjoy it. I do. But some of the recent updates have caused some other bugs and stuff like that, and I've just, you know what, enough is enough. It's been years in development. People have paid for these products. Now, I didn't pay for my A320. Black Box gave it to me, and I really appreciate that. But I'd really like to see these guys get on board now and get these products up and running, okay? So they work, but there's bugs. There's bugs that need to be addressed, and you've got other products out there that are competing with them. And I really feel that Black Box needs to step up their game just a little bit. And I like them, you know, I really do. I like their products, and I like them as a company. I've never had problems with them, and I know some of you have, but I'm not bad-mouthing that company at all. I really do like the company. I just would really like to see them step up their game a little bit, to be honest with you. All right. Connor is out in Ireland. Man, where are you at in Ireland? I want to go to the Isle of Man. Have you ever been out there, Connor? I want to go check out that motorcycle race, man. I want to go ride my motorcycle around that island. Oh, is it now? Let me ask you, TK. Are you talking for P3D version 4? And if so, has Aerosoft released that product for P3D version 4? Because if they have, I might be interested in picking that up when I have the money. I will not get the FS Labs A320. I didn't buy it for FSX. It was donated to me. It was a very generous donation from a good friend of mine, Harry Shaker MT. He donated that aircraft and asked me to do a full flight tutorial on it. And it's a great aircraft, but I'm not spending 140 bucks on it. It was, yeah, you had to squeeze tight to get me to spend the money on PMDG aircraft, and the only reason I did is because I know how much you guys love watching these airplanes fly, and my channel's here for you guys more than it is for me, so I wasn't going to spend the money on PMDG's aircraft for P3D version 4. It really ticked me off how much money they charge for. It's absolutely ridiculous. It really is. I get it. Some recoding had to be done. You know, the fact of the matter is, I'm surprised nobody called me on this yet. Let me put that in the off position. The fact of the matter is, a lot of work goes into these aircraft, but PMDG essentially, and I still haven't read the forum post, but somebody pointed me towards it. PMDG essentially says, well, the market really drives our prices. Wrong. That's a load of malarkey right there. The prices are driven by the people making the products. See, there's no real good competitor for PMDG's products, so they just charge whatever they want. Now, if iFly stepped up their game and made their 747 equivalent to PMDG's, because it's not bad as it is, they really should just go in there and do the extra things to make it on par with PMDG's, but continue to sell it at that price. I guarantee people will buy it. And then PMDG will have to say, well, we're going to have to lower our prices, because the fact of the matter is, they don't even have a sale. When's the last time PMDG had a sale? Can anybody tell me? I doubt it. Ugh. Keeps freezing on you and you can't use the internal camera system that pops up in FSX. That's kind of weird. You know, so I fly primarily in P3D version 4 now, so I don't really have, you know, some of those issues might be related to the fact that you're flying FSX, TK. I don't know, but, or Robert, I'm sorry, Robert. But I don't know, I've never had any real problems with chase plane, to be honest with you. Say hi to Justin Trudeau. Oh, it's not out yet. Okay, TK, thank you. See, I disagree with you on that, Chris. The fact of the matter is you can get away with not having track IR if you have chase plane, but you know the advantage to track IR. So let's take a look here. With chase plane, I can look around. This is due to chase plane. I can look around and do whatever, but I need to use my mouse or the keys on my keyboard to do it, right? And so the problem with that, of course, is when I'm flying. So let me turn track IR on here. Big jump coming up. Boom. There you go. And I got to actually set my chair where it belongs here so that we're at the right view. So now with track IR, I don't have to touch my mouse. I can look around, look where I need to look, and I can have my hands on my throttles, hands on my yoke, and if I need to use my mouse for something, I can look where I need to go, and I can use the mouse and stuff like that. So while chase plane, track IR is coming back off, while chase plane does allow you to look around and stuff, there's the limit of not being able to do what you can do with track IR. So I have to disagree with you on that one. I think both are necessary. So yeah, I don't think the MD-11's coming back, Fishy, and I'll tell you why. It's my understanding that the guy who built the MD-11 for PMDG is the guy who built the 717 for TFDI. In other words, he's not with PMDG anymore, and I think that's part of the reason they pulled the product entirely. Because the fact of the matter is people would still buy it for FSX if they could. Excuse me. So yeah, it doesn't devalue their product. That's a load of malarkey, TK. But they say that crap, don't they? Boy, they feed you so much junk. It's just a load of garbage. And listen, I'm not, the individuals at PMDG, I don't know them from a hole in the wall, so I'm not talking about the people, right? Although there are some that are jerks, right? But the company policies are what I'm referring to here. Your company policies basically say, we don't give a crap about you, the customer, we really don't. Let me give you an example. Right here, caution light won't go off. Now supposedly there's a forum post somewhere that tells me how to fix it. Really? Why am I fixing it? $135 for this aircraft, and you're telling me that I gotta dig through the config files and crap like that to fix this? That's a load of bull. Right? You want to know what devalues your product, PMDG? This crap right here devalues your product. This caution light coming on won't go off and you won't fix it. That devalues your product right there. That devalues it. Fix the product. $135 for this thing. And if there's an update, I haven't seen it. I'm on the mailing list. If there's updates coming out, I'm supposed to get emails. Is there an update that fixes this problem? Absolutely ridiculous. What are we talking about, Robert? Are we talking about chase plane again? You thought it worked fine until they made it compatible with P3D V4? TFDI MD-11 than a PMD. You know, I'll tell you what, if TFDI did an MD-11, people would not just snatch it up, but they are far better at how they treat their customers. For example, right? So when the TFDI 717, they had to they almost had to redo it from the ground up because of the way they designed it originally. When they wanted to go to P3D version 4, they had to do a lot of work on it. Did they charge for it? Nope. Not just former customers, ladies and gentlemen. No. TFDI said, if you want to get in on the open beta for the 717, it's free. Here you go. Take it and go. We don't care if you bought it for FSX or not. Everybody can get in on the open beta for free. Now that's a company that gives a crap about their customers, let me tell you. Yeah, I don't do black market stuff though, Chris. So I'll tell you this right now. While I highly disagree with PMDG's pricing policies and FS Labs pricing policies, I would still pay the money before I use a cracked version or something like that. And simply put, that's not the way I do business. You know what I mean? Fabian, yes, I do. I do fly a lot in the U.S. I mean, technically, we're flying out of the U.S. right now because we're going to Canada, right? Just saying. But yeah, I do. I fly around in Europe and stuff like that. It just depends on where the flight series I'm doing take me. So, Life of a Virtual Cargo Pilot, I'm spinning up season 2 of that right now, and I'm using the FedEx Global Tour from Mac Air, which is an 80-flight tour. So season 2 is going to be a really long season, and that's going to take us all over the globe. So I definitely do fly outside the U.S. I do tend to fly a little bit more in the U.S., but I don't really have any particular reason for that, to be honest with you. It's just where my flights tend to take me. I think that's borderline TK, to be honest with you. I think, you know, I mean, we're talking two different products here, not just between FS Labs and PMDG. We're talking Boeing versus Airbus, right? So the two product lines are substantially different in the real world as well. So I think it's kind of hard to compare. If I were to compare the quality of the product overall, I would probably put them on par with each other for their respective branding, right? So for Airbus and Boeing, I would put them on par with each other. But you know, I have a lot of heartburn about the pricing, and since I don't fly Airbus very often, I don't really need or desire the in-depth systems of the FS Labs, and so I'm not willing to spend the $140 on it. I'll wait until either Black Box gets theirs squared away, which I really hope they do soon, or, you know, if they don't, then when Aerosoft drops theirs for P3D version 4, I'm hoping that it won't be in the hundreds of dollars for that product line, in which case I can purchase Aerosoft's version, but we'll see how that goes as well. These allergies, man, I tell you what, allergy capital of the world right here. We got Dog Tag on here still. You on here, Dog Tag, or are you hiding somewhere? He's probably hiding somewhere. He bailed. So you're talking more the customer service, Chris? You know, some companies are really good with their customer service, some are terrible. I'll tell you what bugs me more than anything these days is the forums. Listen, I get it. The answers are, most of the problems are answered somewhere in the forums. But I just can't stand a company who goes into the forums and puts some ratty post like, oh, that's been answered 100 times. Why don't you go use the search function? Really? The amount of time it took you to type that out, you could have just pasted the link in there and say, here's your answer. That would have been 100 times nicer, more polite, more respectful, and more customer friendly than the answer you type. But instead, you're going to be all haughty and nasty about it, and I just don't like that. There's no reason to act that way. If the customer's being a jerk, then lay it on. Absolutely lay it on. But if the customer's not being a jerk, why would you do that? Fabian, right now, supposedly, there's a group that Matt Davies got together that are supposed to be working on an A380. I haven't seen anything on it, though, so I don't know, to be honest with you. See, now I'm with you on that, Hillel. Majestic absolutely did an amazing job on that Q400, and when now I had the Pro version for FSX, and when they released the Pro version for P3D version 4, it cost me $23 to upgrade. See, now that's what I'm talking about. Panel load state workaround. See, but again, Jack, it's a workaround, right? Why do I have to do a workaround? PMDG charged me $135 for this airplane. They know what the problem is, and they know how to fix it. Why aren't they releasing a patch that fixes it? This thing's been out for a while. You talking about FS Labs, Chris? Yeah. So, and that's different. But again, I get that there's probably a workaround on this, Jack, and I can appreciate that the workaround exists. So I could probably get rid of the issue. And you know, I just haven't taken the time to do it, and that's on me. To be fair, that part's on me. But I don't think I'm being unrealistic that if PMDG charges you $135 for a stinking airplane, the least they could do is when these bugs are known. And who put out that workaround, Jack? Was it PMDG that said, here's what you can do? I mean, because if that's the case, then I'm really ticked off about it. So you knew exactly what to do to fix the problem, and instead of fixing your ridiculously overpriced product. Now, again, let's back up to where PMDG says, oh, the market drives the prices. Really? So you're telling me the market dictated a 100% increase on your prices? That's absolutely ludicrous. I can't even fathom that the market going from one flight sim to another dictated 100% increase on your prices. You're just making it up. That's what it is. You're just making it up. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I say, honestly, as a company, PMDG, shame on you for trying to feed that line of crap to us like we're just too stupid to know any better, because I'm not buying it. Yeah, and Majestic does sales too. Oh, PMDG says, oh, it lowers the value of our product. No, it doesn't. It increases sales and encourages customers to buy your product because it shows that you give a crap enough to say, hey, we know not everybody can afford $135 per airplane. We want to help you out, so here you go. But no, not PMDG. And again, not talking about the individuals, even though some of them are jerks in their own forums. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the company policy. So if you're from PMDG and you're watching this, whether it's the video or the live stream, hey, don't get your knickers in a twist, because I don't know you personally. I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about your company's policies. I think they're unreasonable. I think they're unfair. Yeah, hey, I had to bite the bullet and pay the money for the product too, and that's the problem. You got somebody sitting back there twiddling their thumbs and giggling, saying, you can complain all you want, but you paid $135 for the product and that went in our pockets. There's the issue right there, folks. Because that's how, in my opinion, that's how they address it. That's their thought process. You know, complain all you want. We don't care because we got your money. Shame on you for that. You can't fly it? I'll tell you what, I got news for you folks. If you haven't tried that Majestic, just go take a look at my cold and dark start tutorial on it. It's a little prop plane. For those of you who don't know, Q400 is a prop plane. It's got 2 turboprops on it. Now, that thing, in my opinion, is far more complex than this airplane we're flying right now. Yeah, there you go. Something like that, right, Scotty? Yep, hard to get news and updates. And if you submit a support ticket, how long does it take to get help from PMDG? Right? So let's take the MD-11 as an example. If I don't fly it often enough, it deregisters from my system. Really? I paid the money for that aircraft. Why is it deregistering? So then the only solution is I have to reinstall it. But if I can't find my installer, I can't go download it. And sometimes even reinstalling it doesn't work. So then I put in a support ticket with PMDG, and you know what? When they finally respond, which is usually about, I don't know, 2 weeks later, they've responded quicker sometimes. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's quick. But when they respond, what's their response? Well, we don't sell that product anymore. Excuse me? I don't give a crap if you sell it anymore or not. I already paid for it. You have an obligation to support that product until it's completely dead, and it ain't going to be completely dead until nobody flies FSX anymore. Guess what? That's probably not going to happen. So I don't care if you sell the product anymore. You need to make sure that if I'm having a registration issue, you address it. And for that matter, why does the product deregister itself anyway? Are you kidding me? Just because I haven't flown the MD-11 in a month doesn't mean that it should deregister. That's absolutely ridiculous. Why does the product deregister? It's already registered. Leave it alone. A lot of companies are using AvSim as their official forum, and I have a lot of heartburn with them as well, because you got a lot of folks over at AvSim, some of the old dogs, some of the old salts over there that think, you know, the new guys coming in and asking. This goes into my discussion that I've had many times about the flight simulation community. What happened to the community of flight simmers who looked out for each other and took care of each other? For example, there's a guy out in Scotland. I forget his name off the top of my head, but I'm not going to say his name anyway because I don't usually give people's names up on here. But he shoots me a message. He wants to do some videos, right? Well, when I started doing videos, let me tell you, the response was disgusting from other YouTubers, right? Oh, we don't support other channels. No, you're on your own. Good luck to you, all that. Well, you know what? Up yours. But anyway, excuse me, I probably shouldn't say that. But anyway, you know what? That's just ridiculous. Don't treat people that way. And so I want to get away from that, right? So Captain United, he's a sponsored channel. He hops on here whenever he can. Him and I, we try to work together. He's got a new channel going. In fact, if you haven't seen it yet, go over and check out Captain United's channel. Captain United, all capitalized letters, and it's got a CU, the letters C, Charlie, and uniform as his logo. So when you search Captain United on YouTube, you know what? Matter of fact, let me just save you the trouble. I'm going to pull it up right now and put a link to his channel. The point I'm getting at here is, you know, what happened to the flight sim community that took care of each other, that looked out for each other, that kind of thing, right? That it's like it just disappeared all of a sudden. And so you've got these guys who've been flight simming for 30 years or something like that, And they treat the new guys like crap, like garbage. And then it's even worse for YouTubers. They're like, oh, yeah, well, you know, yeah, you're not going to cut into my YouTube subscribers. So click on that link down there if you guys haven't already. That'll take you over to Captain United's channel. Go over there and hit the subscribe button. And Burke just hopped on there as well. Burke HK, how you doing, buddy? Great to have you here. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Go over and subscribe to his channel. Okay, because these guys are putting out content too, and let me tell you, if you think their content's not up to par, put something constructive in their comment section. Say, look, here's what you can do to make things a little better from my point of view. Help them out a little bit, right? But that's not what we see in the flight sim community anymore. So this guy from Scotland tells me he wants to make some videos, you know, and basically he says mine just are, you know, I just don't think I can do the videos as good as you. Okay, well, you can, given enough time and some practice and the right tools, right? So I'm trying to help him out with that. Why wouldn't I? Right? Is he taking away from my subscriber base? No, probably not. And if he is, well, then fine, so be it. If you'd rather subscribe to his channel and not mine, and you can be subscribed to both, so I don't know why you do that anyway, you know, then subscribe to his channel. You know, it's no sweat off my brow. You know, I love my subscribers. I think you guys are amazing. You're fantastic. I've said it 100 times. I'll say it 1,000 more. You guys are awesome. And that's the way it's supposed to be. We're here to help people out. Somebody said it on the live stream yesterday. Yeah, I love coming here because when I have a question, I'm new, and when I have a question, people help me out. But you go into some of these forums, especially on AvSim, and you type in a question, you might get some guys helping you out, but you get a lot of guys bad-mouthing you in there. That's just ridiculous. What's that all about? Oh, the stupid default ATC again. Go away. I missed something in the chat here. Let me scroll up real quick. Terrified to submit a ticket to PMDG. Yeah, check in the manual. Isn't that right, Scotty? Come on. First of all, okay, yes, it's probably in the manual, but let's be realistic here. How many people are going to read thousands of pages? I appreciate that they put together a full manual like that, but most people they don't have the time to read thousands of pages. That's what customer support's supposed to be about. Yeah, I don't, you know what, it's because AvSim really pushed that, TK is what that is. Excuse my allergies, guys. I don't know who Real Air is, but that's the way it should be. You should support the product as long as you're able, even if you have to shut down shop, right? I'm doing fantastic, Burke, other than a little bit of ranting going on here. You hopped in the middle of basically a fundraiser is what we got going on here, Burke, and we're working towards the money necessary to buy a new high-speed throttle quadrant for my sim, so... Excuse me. Man, these allergies are ridiculous today. I do not have Honolulu scenery from FS Dream Team. And I'll tell you this, Fabian, I'm a little sketchy about FS Dream Team right now because I bought their Memphis scenery, which I was really excited about. And man, even in my sim, which as you can see runs quite well, it gets choppy going into FS Dream Team's Memphis. And I don't know why, and there's no configuration tool to turn things off like some of their other scenery. And so, I don't know, man. Yeah, absolutely, Chris, and that's just the way it should be, guys. And if you know, I'm going to tell you, if you're here watching my live streams or my videos and you're not on board with, you know, bringing back the flight sim community, hold on one sec, we got an FMC notice over here. Reset MCP altitude. Okay, we're almost on top of descent. I'm so busy talking. Let's set it down to 3,000. That's why that FMC message pops up, right? But I want to finish what I'm saying. It'll start descending on its own, so we'll just let it do it, and then we'll take care of our descent stuff here in a minute. If you're on this channel watching these live streams or watching my videos and a subscriber or not a subscriber, and you're not interested in the flight sim community being a community again, then you're probably watching the wrong channel, guys. Because if you want to promote the idea of separation amongst people within the flight sim community, I think you're wrong. You know, I saw a post that really stood out to me on Facebook for one of the flight sim pages I follow on Facebook where guys go on there and they fly around and they post little videos on there. They don't follow procedures or anything. They're just goofing off, right? And people started going after him. That's not the right way to do it. Why are you doing that? Shame on you. Just really giving him a hard time. And I love his reaction. He posted another video where he takes, I think, a little Cessna or something. He flips it upside down and flies upside down, and he basically says, "This one's for you, whoever was attacking him." You know, the guy wants to have. You don't have to fly real-world procedures to fly flight sim, you guys. Listen. Oh, check it out. We got an airplane over here. I'm going to tell you something, and some of you are not going to like this. I promise you. There are going to be people watching right now who are going to get mad about what I'm about to say. This is a game. Yes, it's a game. I know it's a flight simulator, but ultimately it is a game. If I were to take this airplane and nose it over and dive into the ocean, does anybody get hurt? Is there any repercussions for that? No, there's not. It is ultimately a game, and it's here for people to enjoy and have fun. I like to try and follow real-world procedures, and I know a lot of you do too, and that's why I promote that on my channel. But if you don't want to follow real-world procedures, don't. Hop in an airplane, hit Control-E, fire up the engines, and take off on the taxiway if you want. It doesn't matter. Have a good time with it, because that's what you're supposed to do. And that's what we're doing right now. We're having a good time. Well, I'm getting a little fired up because you guys love your Captain Mac rants, and you want to get me fired up, so you're pushing my buttons. But the fact of the matter is you're supposed to have fun with this, you guys. That's what it's all about. Have a good time with it. If you're not having a good time with it, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. If you're so uptight about realism that you're not having fun anymore, what's the point? All right, done with the rant for now. Let me get back to the bottom of the chat here. What did we say here? Oh man, I missed a bunch of stuff, didn't I? A lot of them have, TK. A lot of gaming communities have become toxic, and it's really a shame. AJ's on here. Hey AJ, what's going on? AJ's gonna say, don't worry about it, just fly. I like Quality Wings 757. I also like the Captain Sim 757. Island hops are a good time. I enjoy that too. Greg, rant. Beach 60 Duke. Okay. Is yours working better, Greg? Let me know. Oh, they put some patches in. So do you run that auto updater thing to patch it, or do I need to download something new to patch my Memphis scenery? Let's see. Boy, you guys are chatting it up while I was talking, huh? The crew alertness system in the 777 drives me nuts. I always have to turn it off. Yeah, I turn it off too. I think it's ridiculous. Oh. TK, pipe down you. Lastly, yeah, I don't use Control-E. I mean, I like to try and fly realistic, but not everybody likes that, right? Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, T-Dog. And that's, you know, if that's what you want to do, you should enjoy it and do it, right? Overtime at work. You see Fishy Gaming and some of the other guys are throwing up some of those. So I put in my emojis are related to the Marine Corps because I didn't know what to put for emojis, and I was a Marine and I love it. So I'm relaxed, AJ. I'm good now. It was the auto update tool. Okay, I'll run that and see if it makes any difference. That's all right, Hillel. I'm done for now. Thanks for joining us, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, Duck. Nothing wrong with that at all, man. Okay, we're way overdue for our descent procedures here, so let's start looking at it. We're already on descent, obviously, so there's a few things we need to do. We've got the airport meta information. Auto brakes need to be set, and we're going to need them for this one. So we're going to set auto brakes 3 because it's going to be a short runway, but I think we'll be all right. So on the FMC, we need to come down here and go to initial reference, and we're going to be landing flaps 30. Still going to be at 142 knots. We're going to be coming in there pretty quick. That's slow for this airplane, pretty quick all the same. So that's taken care of. We're already on VNAV. Everything's looking good here, so I think we're good to go. Oh, excuse me. We've already done our arrival and approach briefing. She's descending really fast right now, which is a little ridiculous. You can see it's on VNAV speed, descending at like 6,000 feet per minute because it's way above it for some reason, which is a little ridiculous. Drag required. Sometimes when it goes into VNAV speed, you guys, it'll descend quick. So it looks like it's starting to level off just a little bit there now. Landed the A320 in the Baltic. All right, AJ, thanks for joining us, man. Really appreciate you hopping on here for a couple minutes. Thank you very much. All right, let's get this back on VNav path. You're gonna tell it's not my fault, TK. Come on now, give me a little love. There's VNav path there. Let's take the speed brakes out. And let me adjust my seat here and start getting ready for turning track IR back on. FMC still wants me to put some drag out there. I don't know why. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and scroll that down a little. Starting to get a little bit of clutter in there. We could probably turn the weather off. Look at the shake we're getting in this thing, man. Woo! Take those back out. Let's turn the weather radar off. I don't think we need that on in there anymore. And it's set on, what is it, on auto down here, right? Which one's the weather radar? Come on. Oh, there we go. So it's probably on auto right there. That's fine. We'll just leave it as is. I'm not too worried about it. Every time I look up and see that caution light, I get annoyed, man. Yeah, we were getting a little bit of turbulence coming down there, huh? That's crazy, man. That's a good time, though. I have so much fun with this. Let me check track IR, make sure it's working right. Big jump here. There we go. Looks like our seat position's pretty good. Turn it back off. Big jump. There it is. Fantastic. So we're coming down 21,000 feet here. Let's preset the altimeter 3. I'm going to double check the weather. Let's see if it still holds true here. CYYZ 120 at 9 knots, 3036 on the altimeter. So we can preset that. 3036. I'll pop it up. I got to pop up this one so you guys, for whatever reason, that one doesn't pop up. 3036 on here. That's pretty high pressure. There we go. Shrink that back down. I got a sneeze trying to work its way in here. Hold on. Woo, you're getting a full money today, boys. Goodness gracious. I got a text message here from Wood. Let's see what Wood says. Maybe he's on here watching. He jumped on and watched. He said that's some cool stuff. Thanks, Wood. If you're still on here, say hi down in the chat, man. Good times. Okay, what else we got here? So we're good on that. We've got it. I think we're pretty much set and good to go, other than it wants us to put drag out there again. So throw some more drag out there. Just a little bit, though. Okay, there we're below 18,000. Now watch the big jump in the altitude because we preset this. And it didn't jump all that far. Well, it jumped far enough because it put us on VNav speed now, because we're now we're too high. Hold on. I'm just going to stop for a second because my brain doesn't want to work. We're too high above our glide path. Boy, you throw those spoilers all the way out and this sucker starts shaking, doesn't it? Look at that. That's crazy. Alright, just waiting for it to get back on VNav path here. And we should be able to remove this, or put the spoilers back down once it does. See how it holds up. You got 3 flights planned during the rant. That's a quality rant right there, isn't it? Alright, let's go ahead and bring the spoilers back down. 142 is our landing speed, so we need, our approach speed needs to be 147. I just write that down so I don't forget. And it should already, as far as the nav radio, so it was 110.9 or 5, 147 degrees. That's fantastic. That's exactly what it should be. We'll put that back on progress for now, shrink it down. It's looking good. And we're looking good here. So you can see we're going to come in here and we're going to hang that left, and then that line just extends out there. I'll zoom that out a little bit for you. So that line just extends off into eternity because it's vectors, right? So we're just going to go out a little bit. We'll go into heading mode at that point, and then we'll just use the heading mode to flip us around to the other side there. So it shouldn't be too bad. It should work out just fine. It's a shame we've only got 19 people on here at this point, considering we're getting close to the final approach here, which is always fun in a 747. So, but only 19 people watching at this point. So once again, for those of you who maybe came on a little later, we're running this one as a fundraiser, and the idea is to try and get some money raised towards a new throttle quadrant that I want to purchase. Now, of course, you don't have to donate any money. Have a great time even if you don't donate money. That's fine. But if you're willing and able, I appreciate any donations anybody's willing and able to send my way. So, and we've had quite a few people have donated already. We're already up to $45, and this is the first time we've ever run any fundraiser like this anyway. So I really appreciate everybody who donated, and I appreciate all my sponsors. We got several of them on here. TK is a sponsor, Fishy Gaming is a sponsor. We picked up a new sponsor earlier. Just fantastic. You guys are awesome. I love every one of you guys, and I really appreciate the time, the effort, and the energy you've put into my YouTube channel. So you guys on the chat, do me a favor and say thanks to all the sponsors for supporting the channel and everything that they do. I really appreciate it. Oh, just on approaching the Dash 8 Crash 8. And then time for that DC-3. Do you have the Manfred Jans DC-3? That thing's a lot of fun to fly. That's a really well done, and it's free, you guys. The Manfred Jans DC-3 is free. 21, 22. Yeah, some new guy today. Oh, Greg, you kill me, man. You guys all kill me, I tell you. You guys are hilarious. Is Pat still on here? It's too bad Shivam's not on here. I know Shivam would get really excited about a flight into CYYZ. He's the one who donated the scenery. You know what we haven't done at all? We haven't done some outside the aircraft time. Look at that, 108 frames a second as soon as we jump outside. Look at the wings flapping in the wind there with all the turbulence. Fantastic. Beautiful airplane. We're not getting any of that chop that we used to get, which is just fantastic. I love that our streams are nice and smooth now. Everything just looks absolutely beautiful. I love it. We got to be getting close to 10,000 feet here. I meant to spend a little time outside the aircraft just to get a look at the beautiful modeling on it. You know, again, PMDG products are fantastic. I don't have anything wrong with their products, just their pricing scheme. Okay, we're slowing down here to 240. We're getting below 10,000 feet here. I figured we were. Let's go ahead and get all those lights on like they're supposed to be. Looking good there. Speed was just a little high as we came below, but we're doing all right. And I think we can get that first setting of flaps in, right? Let's see. Flaps 285, 265. We can go all the way to flaps 10 at 240 knots. So let's go ahead and start bringing in some flaps here. And that's going to automatically lower our speed too, I think. It usually does. We'll see. Sometimes the FMC automatically lowers the speed. But by throwing some flaps in there, that's going to add some drag rather than... See, they're telling us drag required, but if I put the flaps out instead of the spoilers, it's going to create some of that drag, and that should help us out. So, he's drinking beer. Yeah, the Canadians. Oh, good times. I added the affinity mask. That's the main thing I changed, is I added the affinity mask, TK. Or, I'm sorry, T-Dog. Evening, Paul. How are you? Let's jump back outside. We got a little bit of time here. I always love the flap extension on the 747, those big massive flaps hanging down. And that's just at flaps 5 right there. Very beautiful airplane. Again, I don't have anything against PMDG's product line, just their pricing. Oh yeah, but I love this livery, you guys. I really love the Cargo Lux paint, this particular Cargo Lux paint scheme. You know, it's just very nice and clean, and I really, really like that. So... looking absolutely beautiful here. Oh, we got a little chop in there, huh? Must have been loading something in on the scenery because it dropped to 20 frames a second and froze. Now we're at 120. Pretty big difference there, huh? Look at that. And we should be making our turn here pretty soon. So you see here, quite a bit of turbulence out there. Let me pop this up. So you see we're going to make this turn to Pilney and then a turn from Pilney to Igtil and Gadog over there. Let me zoom that in just a little bit more for you. And I kind of want to watch the outside view as we make this turn, because now our speed's supposed to be at 220 at a certain point, so it should slow down on its own. But I just kind of, you know, we're going to let the autopilot do its thing for a couple minutes and just kind of hang out outside the airplane. If the shadowing will go away, it doesn't want to go away now. Look at that. The engines are just staying black there. That's interesting. Let's go back inside for a second. Didn't want to load in the textures. Now let's try it. Doesn't want to load the textures, does it? There we go. Oh, it took its time loading that texture in. So I just want to watch it as it comes through this turn and gets onto the downwind. If we get a view from the other side of the aircraft, we'll probably get a nice view of the airport up here pretty soon. Yep, so now it's slowing down because it's got to come down to 120 knots. So you hear those engines winding down. Absolutely love this. Beautiful. And so over to Pilney we go, and then we should be making another left-hand turn from Pilney. Look at those, a lot of turbulence, man. The wings are just, you see them just flapping up and down, all that wing flex. That's awesome, man. Absolutely love it. Georgios, how are you, buddy? I increased my FPS. There's that nice left turn I was looking for. I introduced the affinity mask configuration tweak. So if you're hyper threading on your processor, then you can use an affinity mask setting in your config file that apparently makes a difference. There's the airport over there. Oh, look at that beautiful turn onto the downwind there. I'm loving it. Boston to CYYT. Yeah, I need to get back into that old beast, don't I? Look at that, man. Right through the turn. All right, let's hop back in here. We need to start getting things ready. So it's back on VNAV speed for some reason. Not really sure why, but I'm not too concerned about it either because we've got a little bit of vector time to work with there. So let's slide over here and should be able to see the airfield out there, right? Yeah, there she is over there. Is that the airfield? Or yeah, that was it over there. Anyway, let's get her down. So we got to get down to 3,000 feet. That's what we're set at here. And just taking a look over here at my approach chart real quick. Let's go ahead and let's sync up our heading here. So should be 330 something. 327. And so that way we can switch to the heading hold mode here shortly. And because we're about to be on those vectors, guys. Sorry, that got a little loud there. So we're about to be on vectors. So we want to scoot a little bit past the waypoint there so we have time to circle around, right? And you can see the speed coming down to 210. Let's go ahead and put flaps 10 in there. And we don't need it right now. I just want the little bit of extra drag. And I don't like the nose sitting real high on the airplane. It just bugs me for whatever reason. So, but we're looking good here, and you can see we got a pretty healthy wind, 17 knots coming off the side there. And so when we go to heading hold, I wonder if it's going to try and hold the heading that we're at, or if it's going to try and hold the track. That's interesting. Now you should be able to switch that between heading and track mode, right? But I think that's down here in the FMC. So let's go ahead and let's. Well, I'm going to wait till we cross the waypoint on LNAV there. We're almost to 3,000 feet. Looking fantastic. We've got everything tuned in the way it should be. The more chocked the FPS gets, the more choked, you mean? Yeah, it does start to choke up after a little while. So getting down to 3,000 here, and you can see we're pretty close to that terrain. We're below 2,500 feet AGL now. But that's what we expected. It even shows it on the approach chart. That ground level gets as high as 2,000 feet MSL there. So, but I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the speed here and bring it down to 180 for the turn. There we go. And we're just passing that waypoint here, so it's looking good. We don't need to bring in more flaps. You can see flaps 10 minimum maneuvering speed is way down here. So even though that nose is going to come up a little high, it's not going to be too bad. And we should be fine. Those throttles should start kicking in there. There we go. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a fun one, guys. All right, let's switch to heading hold now. And so it put 327, and it looks like it's gonna hold about 325 for the track. So I think we're doing pretty good here. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna scoot out here just a little bit, give us enough room to turn, and then lock on that localizer over there. So. And actually, I think that's good right there. So let's go ahead and let's make a 90-degree turn here. 57 degrees. No, we're not doing a dirt runway, Greg. Come on, that was an accident now. And select. I forgot, you got to hit, when you're on heading hold, it'll hold whatever that last heading was. You got to hit select in order to adjust the heading. So let's hop outside and take a look, maybe. There we go. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. All that wing flex in there. Nice steep turn. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. You guys will love it. Oh, yeah. Look how close we are to the ground, too. Could you imagine being on the ground and seeing a 747 make a turn like that? You know, 2,000 feet of 1,600 feet above the ground. That's beautiful. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and let's make it continue the turn here. So what I want to do is I want to head straight for that waypoint over there. And then once we get on basically an intercept course, what I want to do, and that looks like a pretty good intercept there. Once we get all the way around the turn here, we'll go ahead and arm the localizer, and we'll keep doing our thing. So, and we're gonna hold it at 180 knots until probably until we got the localizer locked on. So we got a nice shallow intercept there. So let's just let her level off so the localizer's not having difficulties or whatever. And then when we get just a wee bit closer here to our waypoint, we'll go ahead and arm that localizer and we'll be good to go. Welcome back, Jay. Just in time for the approach, buddy. Alright, let's arm the localizer here. There it is. And you can see it's in white there. That means that it's armed. Track IR coming on, a little jump here. There we go. Big jump. I lied. Big jump. Alright, we're looking good here. Our flaps are at 10, 180 knots, holding 3,000 feet. And then let me look at the approach chart over here. So we need to stay at 3,000 feet all the way through Hoffs, which is where we should intercept the glide slope. So as soon as... Has it already grabbed the localizer? No, it has not. So let's go ahead and turn a little more here. We want a nice shallow intercept. Makes it nice and easy. And that wind's pushing us over. You see that 19 knot wind? That's what's been happening. The wind's been pushing us over a little bit. Right? And then once we grab that localizer, we'll arm the approach. And then once it grabs the glide slope, we'll drop landing gear and all that good stuff and slow it down to 147 knots. Saw what back in the 90s? We talking about the L1049? You were living in Hong Kong in the 90s? What were you living out there for, Chris? Do tell. Alright, should grab the localizer here shortly. There it is. Grab the localizer. Fantastic. You can see it's turning on to the final approach course. Arm the approach now, and you can see the white GS means that the glide slope is armed. And you can't see the airfield right now because of all the haze out here, right? So in case you're wondering why, I'm gonna let it fly the ILS for part of the way, and then as we normally do, we will take control. One thing you see in VR is your view between the overhead and the MCP panel here, that dash, is actually quite close, and you don't really notice that when you're not in VR because you're always kind of looking up here, right? Alright, let's arm the speed brakes. Shift and tab is the combination that I have it set to. Continuous ignition needs to come on. If I can find it. Let's see if I can get to it from here. There we go. Continuous ignition. Track IR coming off for a second. Let's take a look at our final approach checklist. Auto flight systems as required. Localizer capture has taken place. Once we actually, you know what? I'm on the wrong one. Initial approach. ATIS has been obtained. Approach briefing is accomplished. Decision height and MDA bugs. We didn't do decision height, did we? What was it again? It was 752. Let's see if we can get it set before we capture that localizer there. Decision, that's minimums. 752. So we'll put it at 750. That'll be fine. There we go. 750, so that's taken care of. Seatbelt selector is on. ICUS recall, we need to check that, which is up over here. So cancel and then recall. Nothing popping up on the recall. Auto brake selector as required. Lights are all on. Flaps as required. And then once we're on short final here, we'll take care of our final approach / landing checklist. Nobody saw this coming. What's up, Alex? So the approach switch is already armed, so once we grab that glide slope, we will go ahead and we'll adjust our speed. We'll drop our landing gear, all of that good stuff. So looking really good here. It's going to capture any minute now. And sometimes it'll nose up a little to try and capture that glide slope, which I always find a little bit interesting. But this one's holding pretty good. There it is, glide slope capture. Gear down, flaps to 20, and let's roll that speed back to 147. And we can leave the auto throttle on all the way in, guys. So as that speed's coming down, we're just keeping an eye on it here. And we can go ahead and go to flaps, what is it, 25? And that warning was just because the gear wasn't all the way down and locked yet. And then finally down to flaps 30. And as those flaps are coming in, let's take a look at our final approach checklist. Auto flight system is going to stay on for just a moment. Glide slope capture has already been announced. Landing gear is down and locked. Flaps are set. Speed brake is armed. And perform the final approach checklist. MCP missed approach altitude. I miss this one all the time. What was it again? It was 3,000 feet. That's already on there, so we're good on that. We don't need to change anything. And then we're not going to auto land, so we'll be taking that off here shortly. Track hour coming on, a little jump. There it is. Now I should have this mapped to a button now. That was the wrong button though, apparently. Okay, so autopilot disconnect is apparently not mapped to a button still. There we go. Somebody made a big deal that I'm supposed to do that on there. Now our frame rates are definitely dropping coming into CYYZ here. They're not horrid, but they're definitely dropping, so that's interesting to note. But we're still looking good on our approach here. Glide slope is looking fantastic. Getting just a skosh low there. Pull that nose up just a little bit because we're letting the auto throttle do its thing. That's a little too high there. Come on now. We don't want to get too high. Remember, this is the short runway we're landing on here. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of choppiness, but the frame rates are still fine, so that's interesting, to be honest with you. I find that really interesting. Coming back on the glide slope. So we should probably be right around 700 feet per minute, give or take just a little. So there we go. That's 700 there.
Approaching.
Drifting just a wee bit to the right. And we're just following that glide slope in until we got a little bit clearer view of those PAPI lights there. But we're looking fantastic. Getting just a little high there. You got to watch that. You don't want to get too high, especially on a short runway. Notice it's got the snow drifts on it. I love that. Frame rates are still doing good, so that choppiness is just the scenery itself, you guys. Not really sure why it's there like that, but the frame rates are holding solid, so we're going to fly her in and we're going to take care of business. Let's listen for the rest of our call-outs.
100.
Landing.
200. Minimums. 100. 50. 40. 30.
Come on.
20. 10.
Minus 210 feet per minute, guys. Reverse thrust coming in. We didn't float her too much either. Alright, there's 80 knots. Bring the reverse thrust out. Take over the brakes ourselves. And I don't remember where we're going. We'll take this high-speed exit for now. Yeah, that choppiness is the scenery, because you can see my frame rates are fine. So I guess we haven't gotten rid of all of our choppiness yet, huh? Let me just, I'm just pulling up my airport chart over here. Alright, so runway 15 right, and bringing just a touch of throttle here. Not a bad landing, minus 200 feet per minute. That's pretty smooth, actually. And there's that reverse thrust thing kicking in again. I hate it. Need new throttles. Let's bring her to a nice, easy stop here. There we go. Track hour coming off. Little jump. Alright, so spoilers. Those are down. Flaps need to come all the way up. Come on. There we go. Flaps coming up. APU needs to be started. There's that. These can come off. 2, 3, and 4. Strobe lights can come off as well, which I believe was that one. Let's double check. Yep, that was the strobe lights. And auto brake can come off as well. Left click it once. TCAS can go to standby. And I think that's everything. Let's take a look at our taxi or after landing checklist. Spoilers, verify retracted. Auto brake selector is off. Landing lights are off. White anti-collision lights are off. That's the strobe lights. Auto throttle arm switch needs to go off as well. There we go. Flight director switch is both off. I don't know why you're giving us a warning for auto throttle disconnect. We're on the ground, for goodness sakes. And anything else? APU start. Fantastic. Okay, so I want to park at the Cargo West here. So let's see if we can get, not gate, I'm looking for parking. 7 suitable parkings, it says. Ramp cargo. Okay, I know it's the 500s. Okay, so 503 is I think the one we're supposed to go to. I am going to request to follow me just to make sure we get it right. So follow me should be on its way. And where did we exit at? We exited at Foxtrot, right? Mike 1? No, that doesn't even exist on the chart. Come on. I'm pretty sure we exited at Foxtrot, you guys. Because if we go up here, pretty near, yeah, we're at Foxtrot for sure. So, what we're probably going to have to do is taxi down here and then cross over. That's the central de-icing facility. And then we're going to circle back up the other side of those buildings there. And parking 503 should be over in here. So, there's our follow me. 50 bucks says he tries to get us to flip around and go this way, which is obviously more difficult. But it looks like, let's just zoom over. This is what I love about Chase Plane. I can just do whatever I want, right? It looks like this is our parking right here. Yep, because you can see the extra stuff out there. So if he goes the other way, I'm just going to ignore him. Track hire coming on, a little jump here. There we go. All right, things are looking good. Let me take a look at the chat here and see if we missed anything. Oh, of course we did. We missed tons of stuff. Thanks for the compliments, guys. I really appreciate it. Literally had an email ready for the FAA. You're killing me here. Only use soft disconnect on the yoke. Oh, where'd he go? What are you doing, dude? Go. Move it. If he goes to the left, I think I'm going to go up and around the other way, you guys. Why is he stopping? Come on. Get a move on. Yeah, let's see where he goes. Okay, he's going the way we want to go. Fantastic. Is there a disconnect for auto throttle on the yoke, or are you talking about the one on the throttle quadrant? Because if it's the one on the throttle quadrant, I don't have that. Hi, darling. Just in time, I'm taxiing in here. Oh, okay. Love you, baby. My wife is gonna go. She's got a mild. We'll call it a mild obsession with sodas. Mild, with no, it's severe. She's got a severe obsession with fountain sodas. So she gets one almost every day. It's kind of crazy, but she's gonna go get them, and she asked me if I want anything because she's sweet, and she's gonna bring me back some food because she's awesome. Love you, baby. Hey, the guys are saying hi on here, by the way. She says hi. She's a little shy. She's going to start her own YouTube channel, guys. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be awesome. So I'll let you guys know when she gets that up and running. You guys can hop over and support that channel as well. Check this out. I love when they do a proper scenery and you got things like taxiways that cross over roadways and stuff with bridges. That is so cool, isn't it? They did that in Phoenix too. They did a great job with the Phoenix scenery as well. It's absolutely awesome. I love it. Alright, so on in we go. We're 2.5 hours in. That's not bad considering the flight was almost 2 hours. So that's pretty good for us, because you guys know how much I talk. Now see, here's a little concern though. Like, I don't think this aircraft would fit on that taxiway. Let's look at it for a second here. Do you think that a 747 will fit on this taxiway? I don't think it will, you guys, with those light poles there? No way. Alright, well, let's try and keep it center line, and we'll have to hop out and take a look, because if it fits, it's going to be a tight fit. Right? So let's swing it around here. Let's hop outside as we swing around, and let's see how it looks. Oh, we're swinging a little too tight there? No, we're good. Oh man, look at that. That's a tight fit, huh? Woo! It fits. Just barely. I don't know if it'll fit between them though. What do you guys think? You guys think it'll fit between these here? That view's terrible. There we go. Yeah, it's hard to taxi from the outside of the airplane. Wow, it fits. I didn't think it would fit. That's a seriously, like, I didn't think that would fit. Look at that, though. It sure does. Fits right between there. Nice. Alright. Sorry for bouncing around my views. I was just curious. See, like, I would think the same thing here. Like, it doesn't look like it would fit alongside this building here. I'm sure the follow me car is getting impatient. So let's hop out again. Yeah, it fits though, but boy, it just doesn't look like it would, does it? It looks like that building's a lot tighter to us. Alright, well, it is what it is. Kind of a strange taxi route if you ask me. Look at this guy. He's just driving down the taxiway. You don't even drive on the taxiway unless you're with ops or something. Like, regular cars do not drive on the taxiway. Ridiculousness. Ridiculous. Boy, taxiing's half the battle in flight sim, isn't it? Especially when you have a properly done airport like this. Boy, they did a nice job on this, didn't they? It was a shame we got a little bit of chop coming in, but it wasn't bad. I was able to land. You know what? That's true, TK, and I'll bet in VR it would look a lot better. I'd take those corners slow. My wife insisted that we were going to be hauling cattle on this flight, so we don't want to fling them around too much back there, right? The follow me car's got to be getting impatient by now. We're supposed to be doing like 20 knots. We're coming, we're coming. Get a move on. Boy, this sucker's light. It'll go, won't it? I don't know if it's from the wind or what, or if my throttles are being weird. You know what? My throttles are being weird, I'll bet you. Well, they're not right now, but it keeps trying to pull to the side. Kind of frustrating. Pre-hamburger. 737 pilot, thank you, man. I had a good time on this flight too. I don't know if anybody else donated on this flight, but if you guys did, I want to be sure to say thank you, even though I may not have seen it. So, and for those of you who might just be jumping in, we're doing a bit of a fundraiser here to try and get some funds towards my throttle quadrant. I want to buy a new throttle quadrant. I'm hoping to get raise enough money to do it by March. So we set the goal at 1,000 because I want to get a good throttle quadrant, and the ones I'm looking at started around $800. So the one I'd really like to get is the 767 version. Looks absolutely beautiful, but it's like $1,700. They have a 747 version as well. That's $2,200 bucks. Now these things are motorized, the whole shebang. Now that's just that one website. I might be able to find it a little cheaper on another website. I don't know yet. But yeah, that's kind of what we got going on. Let's get those taxi lights off. Something I'm terrible about doing most of the time, but I remembered it here. And APU's up and running, good. Alright. We're gonna have a ground guide, or I don't think we're gonna have a guide on our parking here. That's alright though. Take her nice and easy. There we go, 503, look at that. This is where track IR becomes the handiest, right? Because I can just keep my view where I want it. Now I don't know how far forward we actually are supposed to pull on this thing. Might have to hop outside and see, because I don't know if I can see where 747 is written on here. It looks like it's just got numbers or letters on it, like 4321, yeah. So it looks like we got her straight though. Ooh, slow down, baby. We're going to pull it all the way forward here, and we're going to see how close I get to that last line. That's what I'm going for, the last line there. A little bit more. I I think that's about it right there, you guys. Let me put the parking brake on. Track car coming off. Little jump. There we go. And let's see how close I got. How close you guys think I got? Oh, that's not bad. I was actually one line short. I was going for the last line, and I ended up, but I stopped right on one of the lines, so that's good at least. All right, let's go get the APU gens on. 1 and 2. And let's go ahead and shut down the engines. Oh, wow. Frame rates went a little crazy there for a second, didn't they? All right, engine shutdown taking place here. Let me go ahead and turn Gen 2 off real quick because we're going to open up a bunch of doors here. So let's go to menu page, FS Actions, doors. We're going to open entry 1 and 5. I don't know why GSX insists on entry 5 being open. These guys here, and then forward cargo and aft cargo both need to be open. And then I'm going to open bulk cargo as well just for the heck of it. And then for the nose, we need their service vehicle just to have something out there. Set the chocks. And then nose cargo request. That guy's on his way. And then let's do GSX here real quick and request deboarding. And it's not asking us who, so let's see what we got. Well, that's not going to help. Or is that? Or is that? Boy, the textures are taking their time loading in, aren't they? Why don't we just go to this view here, give the textures a minute to load. There we go. Now they're starting to load in. Fantastic. You can see the nose cone coming open there. Looks like FedEx is going to be unloading us today, and we should have a van or something coming out here to pick up our pilots. So we're looking good on all of that. Hop back inside here and let's take care of our parking position checklist. Parking brake is set. ATC contact is terminated. APU Gen 1 and 2. We have Gen 1 on, and that's fine. APU bleed needs to be on. There's that guy right there. Engine hydraulic pumps all off. That's these 4 down here. Right, and then fuel control switch is cut off. So I guess these were supposed to come off before. So these guys can come off as well. And then I don't know why it's set up that way, but it is. Doors are already open. Gangway's good. Beacon lights can go off now. And what else we got here? We need to go to ground power at this point. So let's go ahead and hook up ground power. Ground connections, request ground power. That's connecting right now. Then once that's connected, we'll shut down the APU, and that'll pretty much wrap it up for us on this one, guys. So we're just waiting on that ground power to connect, and it takes a minute sometimes. You can see there it is, and then they hook the plug up. So we're starting to offload the cargo. That's a nice view right there, isn't it? Let's get a, oh no, right off the top of the building. There we go. Let's get a picture of that. Bam, screenshot. Hop back inside here. Actually, we need to go up top. And external power is now available, which means APU can go off, packs off, engine bleeds off. Those guys are good. Bus ties will stay as they are for now. We'll leave those on auto. Gen controls on auto. Turn the APU off. Yaw damper goes off. All 3 of these guys go off. There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for this one. We're going to have to keep changing the view here, aren't we? I like that view there. Let's just do this and zip it up top here. There we go. Nice overall view. There's the van coming up to pick us up. And that's going to wrap it up for this one, folks. This was a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody who donated. I really appreciate it. Very generous of you guys. We'll probably continue to run these fundraisers for a little while until we get some funds in there, and then hopefully I can add in whatever I'm able to save up to it and be able to get a new throttle quadrant pretty soon. But in the meantime, for those of you that were able to donate, I really appreciate it. That was absolutely awesome. You guys are all fantastic. I love you. You guys just blow my mind every time. It's really awesome, you guys. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you guys had a good time on this one. I had a great time on this flight. I'm loving that my frame rates are holding out much better now. That's fantastic, and this is always a fun aircraft to fly too. So thank you once again, guys. And don't forget to, if you haven't already done so, I always get confused at the end, don't I? If you haven't already done so, please smash the subscribe button. Almost 6,000 subscribers now. You guys are awesome. Don't forget you can like us on Facebook. I do tend to put some posts up there occasionally, and some folks communicate with me over on Facebook, so I have a good time doing that, and it's a great way to communicate. So if you like us on Facebook and you send me a message over there and I don't get to you right away, I promise I'll get to it as soon as I can. And follow us on Twitter. Our videos should automatically be tweeted over on Twitter, so that's fantastic. And then, of course, follow us on Twitch at CaptainMac3588. We live stream on both YouTube and Twitch simultaneously now, so you can catch us over there, or you can catch us here on YouTube. Thank you once again, folks, and that's going to wrap it up. So, as always, keep the blue side up, unless otherwise instructed by ATC. God bless you all. Thank you once again, and have a fantastic day.